Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It is Monday again at 1 p.m. I can't believe the week has gone by that fast. All right, I'm back here. Here we go. We got the Celadon wrap-up today from a week ago. Boy, they're going to start paying their people. Did you see that? It's ELD Day. Oh, yes. Paid parking. What do you think about that? I saw a video about this. We'll talk about it. The TuSimple CEO speaks out about trucking. The St. Christopher Fund donation drive is still going. We have many other things on the list for today. So it is good to see everybody here today. Michael Muller was first on Wednesday. I'm sure he would want to know that. Want you to know that, and I appreciate you being here early like that. It's really always amazing to me. Let's see, David, I have it here, IACHADIH. I wrote down for today, but not first. All right, so we wanted to be very clear on that. All right. Okay, Wayne is here. Hello, what's going on? Wild Bill, I see you are here today. Thank you for being here. Fuelish Trucker is here. Trucker Hershey got in today. Misty is here. It's good to see you today. Thank you for coming in. And let's see, where am I going here? For new people, right, I'm not very good at this. So we get stuck a lot on things. And so the picture sticks. Michael Cole, what is happening here today? It's snowing out here today, too. So everybody be careful. It's going to be a disaster tonight. It should be a lot of fun. I hope to not enjoy it that much. Fuelish Trucker, what is going on? A Polish ELD, I love it. I'll tell my wife that joke. She will enjoy that. John Boston, hello from me as well. The Rooster, what's going on today? I'm down here. David Donald Romano. I'm conversing with my agent. Yeah, my agent's sleeping in her cat bed back here. So, Ricky, hello there. What's happening? Where am I at here? As usual, I'm off on my little D-Boy 611. Thank you for being here today, Christina. There's a story there. I can't get to that at the moment. So, Luke, what's happening? Terrible day. Your company expects you 700 miles when you run consists of 580. Now, behind for tomorrow, trying to get to the GW, hopefully not the GW bridge. It is Roller Wiener Monday, which I should have put up there, shouldn't I? I don't know what I'm doing here. Wasn't thinking the Celadon had me all confused. It is Roller Wiener Monday today. As every Monday, be sure to get your wieners ready for the show. I should have put that up there. Boy, I'm way off today, huh? Big Barry, and I lost that. Big Barry, I see, is here today. Leon, A1, always, what's happening? And I saw somebody said hours of service is hours of slavery. I would say it's hours of servitude, right? Because you volunteer for it, right? How about that? Everyone volunteers where they are. King Bob, hey, what's happening? Otis the Trucker, good to see you. Grafton, hello. Fleet Nav Systems is here today. Hello, thank you for being here today. Andy's World, hey Mark, clear but cold in North Platte. I wish it was going to be clear. There's a winter storm warning around the Indianapolis area today, so be ready for that. Everybody headed through 70, the middle of Indiana. That starts at 2 p.m. today in another 50 minutes or so, 55 minutes. Jubraka, hello. Tyree, hello. What's going on? Big Red, you emailed about Air Capital Delivery. Yes, I appreciate that. I think I wrote back to you on that. I read it anyway. Ralph, good afternoon. Texas Trader, you're here on time. Alex, can you bypass an open scale if the ramp is full? Only if you get the green, right? Otherwise, no. They make you sit on the side of the road unless there's a sign that says bypass when full or full at this line. Otherwise, no. You get to sit there and be unsafe on the road. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Jim Trucker, where do I work? Well, I look down there at the clock always for some reason. I never get that question. So for new people on the show or whatever that I do every week on Monday, I never say where I work. Okay, and that keeps them out of my videos. And also, I don't recruit for them. Although it looks like this week everybody was recruiting for their company, unbelievably, to get that side money. I don't take it from them. Although they do pay a recruiting bonus, I don't get it. I don't recruit for them. So unlike almost everybody apparently on YouTube and everywhere and every other internet site. So I don't get their money, and that keeps everything clean here, I think. I don't take money from any trucking company, as a matter of fact. D-Ride, does anyone know about bone-conducting headphones? Yeah, I did see those. I've seen them, right? You can stick this thing in your ear, and it conducts the thing through the bones in your head. It would be only legal to wear one in one ear. So, but I think they're so tiny, nobody would notice, although you shouldn't do that anyway, right? Michael Martin, yikes. A racket maker, hello, what's happening? Hello from Buffalo. Yikes, what is going on out there in Buffalo? Expat at large, hello. Shifting gears. Thanks for the input Wednesday. I really appreciate hearing the observations. Jim in Michigan. Oh, okay. Thanks for writing in. I appreciate it. Ruth, hi, Mark. My son filled out that form. He said truckers needed to fill out. Okay, you're welcome. And that was the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. Fill it out. Everybody gets signed up in there. You're going to need to eventually get in. Well, the getting's good. Well, it's early because I think it'll get all plugged up with people signing up as companies figure it out and stuff. So that's good. He's signed up now, and he'll get notifications, and he's good, right? Always stay legal on this stuff. Where's it snowing? Your husband's a driver. It's going to snow here. It's not snowing at the moment, but it's snowing. It's going to do Indianapolis today. I-70 area through Indiana has a winter storm warning out, which starts here in 54 minutes. Misty, it's sunny in Vegas. Yeah, nice. Thanks for rubbing that in. Yikes. But no clocks, though, right, Gustavo? I hope everybody's running their ELD. Yeah, it's ELD day, right? Today's the day. You need to switch over today to ELD unless your truck or you are exempt for some other reason. Otherwise, you're finished, right? You don't have a log. Isn't that great? Luke, you like the little flag on the chair? Thank you. I always have a flag everywhere I go. There's one in the recording studio, as I say, one on the car, truck. Always have a flag, right? Trucker Dave, Maine, good afternoon. It's snowing in Chicago. Well, Mill says, all right, your live check is stuck. I'm sorry about that. Maybe switch to Android. I'm on I-40 in New Mexico. Is it snowing there today? Jason, what's up? Checking it from Connecticut, headed to Alabama with spools. Hey, that's not a bad load, right? Work starts at 4 p.m. Snow is starting. The storm warning is at 4 in Cleveland. Yikes. Alf, heading to Plainfield, Indiana from Detroit. Oh, yeah, that'll be great. But, the further north you go, apparently the better off it is. So I live in Indianapolis. I'm glad you took the night off. Otis, yeah, today was the day to take off if you saw that weather. Schools were 2-hour delay today, but it wasn't bad this morning. Yo, from Cisco in Jersey, I can see the Statue of Liberty from your front door. That's pretty cool, right? Get a picture of that up. That's pretty good. And I'm off on my spot here. As usual. All right, here we go. When chat is stuck, close and reopen it. All right, there's a good. I'm picking up my first ever load with 2 delivery points. Yeah, I hate stops. Where's Cash is King Trucking? He's like the king of stops. So I hate doing stops. I hate him. One pick, one drop. I do recommend Cisco. Yeah, who does recommend that? Michael, I posted a link but didn't care about the cash, just getting Celadon drivers working. I know, look, there are people like that, but look, right? The vultures were out in force basically over the week, especially the few days there. Everybody, and it wasn't, because I want to help them. It was because they want to help themselves. That's the thing. Gustavo, I don't take dirty money. Yeah. Well, I think if I'm going to do trucking reviews and stuff of companies, I can't take money from a trucking company for whatever reason, because then people will say, oh, it's because he's getting paid, or he doesn't like the company because he's not getting paid. So no money changes hands, which is good for them, unfortunate for me, but that's the way it has to be to do a clean review, I think. I saw Celadon trailers sitting at the Pilot in Lake Charles. They're all over the place. There was an article, too. Okay, so this guy drove for Celadon. He was in Indianapolis. Did you see this? Because they interviewed him on KHOU, Houston's On Your Side channel. And he's a driver. He was in the Indianapolis area, and they told him, bring the truck back to Indianapolis terminal and on the Qualcomm, and then find your own way home. But he already had just fueled the truck, apparently. So instead of doing that, he drove the thing back to Houston. Now, he didn't quite make it. He made it to Waxahachie, however far that is from Houston. I didn't look it up. And his wife came and got him, and he just left the truck. Okay, that's an abandonment. You can't do that. This is an Arrow where there's no communication or whatever. They told him where to bring the truck. He said it on the news channel, so I don't know how later he's going to be able to deny it. You can't do that. If they tell you to bring the truck, you got to get your own way back. There were tons of drivers in Indianapolis. Believe me, 4 of you could have figured out, oh, we all live in Texas. Let's rent a car together, and it wouldn't have cost any more than a bus. You could have gone down there in the car, and the last person turns it in or whatever. I don't know, but you got to figure it out. You can't just do that. Owner parked our new trucks and paid 8 hours to stay home. Boy, that would be super nice. They just have a policy here that you don't have to drive if the weather's bad, but you don't necessarily get paid for it. So, hello, sitting here at the guard check waiting to check out of at the Toyota plant, trucking with Dante. All right, get those Toyota parts moving, noob. Hello from Indy. What's going on? You better get out while you can. This is your first time here, so you get back to do. Okay, right? What's this talk about? Just various things during the week that I do. And wrapping up about Celadon, the death watch of companies, The TuSimple guy, love that. Oh, Matt's is coming up in March. Let's get that going too. Sign up for the truck show. Be there in March. I'll be down there. See everybody there. 3 inches, James Faust, hello there, from Cummingmore, 30 degrees in Alexandria. Yeah, the middle of the state, right, not great, is going to be the worst part of it. So the closer we are to Indy, the worse it gets. Merry Christmas, slackers. We're a little early on Christmas, right? Holy mackerel. I'm not sure I can get away with flying the Union Jack in my truck. Oh, maybe not. Depends on what they say, right? You're on your way to Chicago. The further north you get, the better it is. Michael Muller has an Android. I was making a droid joke. Dewey's Trucking. Good morning. On this site, the states, Jeffrey Herring is here. Good afternoon. The states and we drop off. Rolling LTL. Most trusted name in trucking news. Thank you very much. Better than Freight Waves. Did you see their article this week? Oh, my gosh. Oh, Celadon closed because of the economy. No. Freight Waves, get a grip over there. Maybe get somebody that knows what they're talking about. That was the stupidest article I've seen in a long time. Celadon would have closed. The economy could have been great. Rates $10 a mile. Celadon would have closed. Fighting with your dispatcher about the climate weather pay in Indy. Says no precipitation. Exactly. Isn't that great? They look out and go, looks fine right now. I've had that too. I had to go to Kentucky a few years ago, and it was like super snow down there. But up here in Lafayette, sunny. But down there, everything was closed. Even the place I was going was closed. I called them. And I go, look, I called them. They're closed. And the company's like, well, what another we can do about it? I go, if I'll go down there, I'm going to go part way, and I'm going to get a motel as soon as it starts snowing, because they pay the motels here, no problem for that. And they go, well, whatever. And so I went part way and got a motel, and then the next day, they just had me come back. It's the stupidest thing I ever saw. Companies are so stupid. I'm like, you guys are total idiots. You could have just had me sit at home instead of wasting all that fuel and risking somebody out in the weather when you know the place is closed. They're so stupid. So I totally feel your pain. Guillermo, thank you for your help. Continue defending the right we have as truckers. Congratulate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Todd started in northern Maine, Oakland, California. Wow, that's a super great load for the week. Hendrickson is going bankrupt. Yeah, I do have that written down here. Hendrickson, 97 drivers and 90 trucks bankrupt. That is true. California company. Got 7 Celadon starting at Smith. Wow. Well, that'd be an improvement for those people, that's for sure. They can almost commute. I've word from a friend working at MVT that the company's going under. Really? Mesilla Valley or Mountain Valley? MVT at Mountain Valley? Let's see. Just hook the trailer and go. Free trailers. There are some of those Waxahachie's near Dallas. All right, so he made it to Dallas and then had to get to Houston. Would you take a different route to Houston? Celadon had a terminal there. Oh, he didn't say, but in the news he didn't suggest that he dropped it at a Celadon terminal. He said, I left it in Waxahachie, so maybe he should have been more clear about that. It's 73 in South Carolina. Okay, you can eat that 73. Crazy. Well, actually, it's not far from Dallas. All right. So I see what he's saying. Other companies, I heard that Wiener has a contract to get Celadon trailers, that they were picking a bunch of them up. There's a Celadon truck stop at the truck stop in Ohio. It has been sitting here for a week. Yeah, it's abandoned, right? I'm surprised it has tires in it. Some owners over there sucking the fuel out of it. All my documents are at home. How do you take a new job without your Social Security card and birth certificate? Well, I don't know that you need a birth certificate. And I don't know how you'd get your Social Security card. Well, look, this driver, but they told him, look, drop your stuff off here and go home. So you have to go home anyhow. If you're getting a new job, you have to go home. How do you get your Social Security card? I'm not sure how I would do that. You could have your wife overnight it to a box somewhere. I mean, there are ways to do it. Hello in Hubbard, Ohio today. I mean, if it's something that you needed. Look, if you're getting a job, they don't look at that card. You could have your wife or somebody at home send it. I guess if it's just you at home, you got to go home and get it. F-150, heavy rain and thunderstorms in Tennessee. Here's Cash is King, the king of stops, it should say. I've seen a dropped Celadon trailer a couple days ago at the Loves. Off 65. Oh, and 240. You should have told me. I'd go up there and go get it. Can't tell what to do if you're out of a job. Celadon declared he was out of job and unemployed. Can't tell you what to do if you're out of a job. That's true, right? But that's their truck. They can say, bring our truck back. You can't continue to drive their truck. So the other side of that is, if you're fired, that's not your equipment to drive anymore either. So worst case, under your scenario where they can't tell you what to do, is you can't drive the truck anymore. He'd have to leave it where he is. How about that side? You don't say, oh, well, I'll just drive your truck 2,000 miles or whatever. So under that scenario, no, he still can't drive it to Texas. Tom just left a mess of snow and ice in St. Louis. It's coming this way. So all truckers have to come together and stop companies that want to profit. Well, how does companies stay in business? Remember that the responsibility we have as drivers on the road is enormous. Yes, but companies, of course, have to profit or they close. So we can't have a company not making a profit. Every company makes a profit. Gustavo from Liverpool, New York. You're going there. Wow. Hendricks out of California went under. Yes, 97 drivers and 90 trucks. Not a large place, but certainly a place, anyway, that did go under. Let's see what I'm doing here. Okay, well, I can take a cat break and do a couple other interstitial things here. There's the cat break, of course. Gracie doesn't know what's going on. I always say this. Oh, right. I wanted to talk about the St. Christopher Fund, which I've been talking about the last few weeks. I'm at 440. My goal's 500. They don't know I'm doing it. So if you got $1 or $10 or $300, donate it to the St. Christopher Fund this month. Let's see if I can get $500 for them. This fund helps drivers that have medical problems on the road. So, and I think it's a great fund for that. And if you can throw them $1, I threw 25 to start everybody. We're at 440 now. They'd appreciate it, and so would I. This month, right, Thanksgiving to Christmas, worst month for suicides. Yikes, because of the holidays. You'd think it would be happy. It's not for everybody. If you need to use this number, write it down, use it. If you know somebody that could use it, give it to them. You can call 24/7. There's no obligation. You don't even have to give them your name, all right? They just want to help. So please, if you need that number, use it. So there is that. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Exactly. As we say here. Good afternoon, Jamie. How's happening? Silos. Truckers won't stick together. Fortunately, in Puerto Rico, they shut down. Okay, but here's the deal. What do we want? You know, I have this thing about paid parking I want to talk about today. What's the deal? If we stopped, say every driver stopped, what do you want? What do I want? It's all different things, right? Took a full load of Crisco to Texas, and they're shortening my pay. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Really? Holy mackerel. Shortening my pay. Well, that snuck in there. 2 Celadon drivers applied at a company, and both of them were rejected by the insurance company. Well, that's another thing. Keep your record clean, right? Chris is homesick in Des Moines. Well, you can go you can maybe prank call CRST for the day. That would help. You don't have to cross to George Washington at 4:30 a.m. Not looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope you got a couple $100 on you too. Or at least the transponder. Cannon maker, first time on the show. Like the content. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. I'm on every weekend. 1 p.m. on Mondays. Agree the companies are being stupid. I wonder how some make money with the things they do. Yeah, it's crazy. They waste so much money here on this side. Oh, can I get this? No, we can't do it. We don't have any money. Oh, well, just go drive around, Crazy. Celadon goes down in flames and everyone says amen. It's not a great place. And the drivers, although I feel bad for them initially, they're going to probably do a lot better than they were. I heard another YouTube trucker talk about roadrunners starting to cut down people. They're on the list. CJ Hudson, they're on my list of on the death watch for sure. They laid off drivers earlier this year, 400 drivers. They just sold their flatbed division because they needed money. And their stock, which I wrote down here, I have all these papers here today. Okay, so their stock, get this, the stock here. Here's another thing, right? June 5th, 2015 was $707.27. December 13th, 2018, it was $16.25. And December 12th, 2019, it was $9.01. Now, in their defense, they did a 1-to-25 stock split. That means the current price of the stock with the split based on the 15 price is $225. So it went from $707 to $225 in 4 years when many companies were making money. They're losing value, and they've sold off a lot of their business, laid off drivers. They're on the death watch. Will they close tomorrow? I don't know. It took a while for Celadon to close. Would I work there? No. In my opinion, I would leave while the getting's good, just like I told people at Celadon. Doing reset loves in Wamsutter, Wyoming, 6 degrees. Yikes. -6 degrees. That's even worse. 36 in Jersey. Dave the trucker. Brickman Baker, hello, what's going on? Nathan, your North Dakota neighbor checking in. All right. Hope you're warming up. Sunny and 80 here in Fort Myers. Yikes, Jamie, wonderful for you, not for us. Miro, Canadian side of Celadon's closing, right? Hindman. Here's the thing. They also have this Taylor truck line in the Carolinas. Celadon, oh my gosh. They said, we're going to stay open. Would you work there? Especially if you're there now. How nervous would you be there? It's like you're in a building and you're in the bathroom and you open the door. The whole building has exploded and there's nothing left to it. And they go, well, this bathroom, we're going to keep this bathroom operating. I mean, no way. No way. You're like the Twilight Zone when what's-his-face goes in the safe down there and opens the safe door. The whole world is gone, right? Come on. Marvin, do you think a shipper that paid the carrier a huge bonus should pass some of that bonus down to the driver because the bonus is paid on the mileage the truck run? It's up to the contract that the driver has or whatever the deal is the driver has if he's a company driver, right? I mean, honestly, right, that's business. The one on the bottom gets the least amount of it. So if you're owner-operator and you have a deal like that, yes. If you're a driver and you get part of the percentage, then yes. Otherwise, no. I'm back again for the latest trucking news. Arthur running local in Memphis, Tennessee. What do you think about that? Local in Tennessee. Home every day. I hope what that means. Because I noticed a lot of ads that say local. Oh, home every 2 days or 3 days. That's not local. Okay, that is not local. If they tell you to drive to the terminal, ask if they pay you to do that in advance on a com check. Trucker Hershey. They're not going to do that, of course. The other, the side of it is, look, you can't drive. If you're told, bring it to the terminal, we're going bankrupt, you have to bring the truck to the terminal and go bankrupt. You can't drive it to Texas. Now, if he dropped it off at a Celadon place in Texas, they probably won't say anything to him. But you can't do that. They told him where to bring the truck. If they tell you where to bring the truck, bring them their truck. It is their truck. And especially if we're saying, I guess if you're saying, I'm fired, so I don't work for you. All right, then you say, I'm fired. I'm leaving the truck right here. You might have a point to that, to say, I'm not driving the truck any further. But you would never have a point to just make the decision to drive the truck wherever you want. If you're a lease operator, you can sell the fuel and tires you paid for them to get put on. Well, that's interesting because you have to turn the truck in the contract, maybe not with fuel, but in an operating condition. So say it was on blocks, no tires, you're going to get charged for that. I'm sure it's in your contract, just like a car. When you lease a car, you can't give them the car back and take your tires off. Like, say right before your lease ends, you put new tires on it. You go, well, I'll put your bald tires back on it. No, the car, that's not how it would work either, right? The fuel, maybe. You could drop it off without fuel. Depends what the contract. If it says return it with a full tank, you're stuck. It's all in the contract. Mike is doing a 34 south of Albany. Hindman is a Celadon Canada division. Donald, right, yes. They're up in Canada, eh? And they're closed, eh? That's not great. But we would knew any part of Celadon is going to close. Good afternoon. I saw a Celadon trail at a pilot without a cab. Wonder if they're coming back for it. Yeah, eventually. I heard Werner's doing some of that, and I guess some companies are doing that, yes. So eventually they'll come and get it. King Bob, the loaders from Greensboro going to Sioux Falls. Not bad. Then Roseville, second stop. All right. I just don't like stops. I just don't like them. Michael Coach was saying that Roadrunner sold off their flatbed division so they could get cash. Right. He's totally right. And they sold something else earlier this year, too. I mean, and, their president just quit, too. The president, come on. There's so many signs here. This is another one like Celadon. Could they get back on business? Yes. Would I risk it? No, I wouldn't. Michael Cole, did you see Celadon trying to keep Taylor Express? Yes, but there's no way. Look, for me, no thanks. I'm not chancing it. Might they be great? Yes. Trucker Hershey said sailboat fuel. Happy roller Wiener Monday. Tyler, it's good to see you. Any word on hours of service going into effect? I'm thinking late winter. I don't see anything before, late winter before the actual things go into effect. Today, the ELD goes into effect. So unless you have a pre-2000s engine or a couple other reasons, you're going to have to be running an ELD today. And somebody said something about reverse too, and I did actually try that on ours. And if you speed up enough, it will turn it on to driving in reverse as well. I actually tried it a while ago. So maybe it depends on the ELD or whatever, but yeah, it can go in and reverse. Zach got a pay raise at England almost 9 months, 32 cents. What a joke this place is. Yes, Jack, that is exactly correct. It is. I think 9 months is your contract, though, correct? So I was in their contract 9 months. If you're at the end of your contract, it's time to look around for a better place to work, and that would not be Taylor Express. King Bob is hauling furniture. That doesn't sound too heavy. What do you think about TMC to start with to get a CDL? I'm not a fan of it because of a lot of micromanaging, and you can't walk on the grass. You have to make your bed, stuff like that. I'm just not a huge fan like that. 67 in Winston-Salem. Hauling of his load of sailboat fuel in Chicago. Get going where you're going. Don't start with TMC. About 3 years ago, Roadrunner overloaded my trailer. It was about $93,000. Well, they're trying to make some money. Return the load back to their yard. Look, they're trying to get some money there. It's 63%, 63 degrees in Chandler, Arizona. Little Opie. Nice. If you want to clean your truck until your fingers bleed, exactly. Look, you have to, anytime you're in the yard, the truck has to be in showroom condition, according to them. Showroom condition. Now, if you have a 2 or 3 year old truck, could you get that truck in showroom condition? That would take some time. Remember, they don't pay you for that time also. Isn't it awesome? Twilight Zone was Burgess Meredith. That's what I was trying to think of. All I could think of was Rocky at the basement of the library. Time enough at last. Right? He comes out of, am I not thinking, no, he went into a bank to read. He was the teller. He was the teller at the bank, and he was on break. He went down in the vault to read a book, and the whole world got nuclear bombed or whatever. Then he came out. Then he went to the library and stacked all his books up, and his glasses broke or whatever. Right, but he was the teller at the bank. Yes, I can't remember his name. The first ruling: are the trucks automatic or manual that you take your test in? Depends at the company or whoever's giving you the training. Never allow shareholders in your door beginning at the end of your company. Well, it doesn't help, certainly. The thing is, once your stock goes down, it's hard for you to borrow money and stuff. And then companies that are borrowing money, they just can't ever pick it back up. Trucker Hershey saw an ad for hauling 52,000-pound racks in a trailer. I think that's a legal weight load. Depends on the truck, right? I don't know. Be a really light trailer. I guess if you had a single axle day cab with a 10-gallon fuel tank on it. I don't know if you could get a truck to haul that. Probably. Where did I run off to here? All right, where am I right here? If you want to clean, here I go. Greetings from Maryland. Seaman, this is very good advice you're giving people about the company's financial health as the stock drops a lot in a short time. Get out. I agree. I mean, that's one of the first things people should look at. Look, take 5 minutes every week to look at your company and just do a little news search or whatever. Like I have my company's name so that if they're ever in the news, I get an alert, like a news alert. That's all. Just do that. So if something happens, then every day at the close of stocks, at the Wall Street close, I get an update on how the stock did that day. If it's up $1, whatever, that's no problem. But when you see it go down, it's time to look around, Ricky looks forward to the show every Monday. Thank you very much. So do I. I think it's the best part of my week. Michael Muller, driver for TMC. It's not even like that. Look, they say they're like that. They want it looking decent when you come to the shop. People blow that out of proportion. They say it. I have their paperwork here. Showroom condition. I'm not blowing anything out of proportion. They say it. So I don't recruit just like you, but I'll say the wireline companies up here in North Dakota are aggressively hiring. Want to get off the road? Consider North Dakota. Yeah. Well, look, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying there were a bunch of vultures at Celadon just to get a recruiting bonus. How come there's more people driving these days? What the heck kind of question is that? Right. What's the Mexican division's name? Jaguar. Donald Matthews. Jaguar Trucking was the Mexico part of Celadon. And those guys, did you see what they did down there? They closed that. They blocked the place up. They said they're going to stay blocking Celadon. Nobody's getting a truck in or out of there until they get paid. So there you go. I thought that was pretty interesting. Do you guys know any second chance companies that pay better than Trans Am? Ooh, Lasso. Let's see what people think about that. Second chance usually indicates not a lot of pay. Do I know any local companies in San Antonio? No, not off the top of my head. Let's see if there's somebody that lives in the area. That's how it was when I tried driving for them. They had us clean the trucks using orientation for 2 hours. Yeah, that's what they say they do. That's exactly what they say. Started with TMC, they care more about that truck than you. They do. The truck's got to be clean all the time. Other drivers will tell on you there. Okay. Leave England. Yeah, Michael Cole is right, Zach. At 9 months, your contract should be up or very close to being up, right? Get your date. Don't leave early. They'll get you on the rest. You have to pay all of it. It's not prorated there. So be sure you're very close right now. So there's no reason not to stay through the end of the contract, but then start looking around. Just make some phone calls. We have to, Guillermo, we have to create together a truck drivers union where it puts an end to all these companies that benefit from truckers. It's really an abuse to see other companies play with us. That's true. That's absolutely true. You don't need a union, though. That's the thing of it. It would be great to do that, but we really don't need that. Just stop, letting places abuse you is really the answer to it. A lot of the stuff that companies do, I'm sure many of you and me, I wouldn't tolerate it. So I wouldn't do the things that they do. If every driver did that, no one would, they'd have to close. Like Western, 27 cents? I don't think so. If everybody said that to them, they wouldn't be able to work there. Jeanette, hey, Mark. Hear about the peaceful protest at Jaguar Celadon Mexican. Here we go, right? Mexican employees block the yards full of equipment until they get their pay. Yeah, right. I saw that. They put their cars there and said, nobody's coming in or out of this place until we get paid. Now, the judge for Celadon bankruptcy did say that they released $5.4 million or something to pay everybody. I don't know if that's just in the United States or if the international brands will get paid as well, but some money just got paid. Yeah, but that's how you get paid. The equipment doesn't come in or out. That's how you get paid at a company like that. I have a question. Some of the trucks these days have a clutch without a stick shift. How does that work? Who has a clutch without a stick shift? A clutch. Oh, a 3-pedal. This is an old. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. This is an old 3-pedal automatic. So you just start out with it. But I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Schneider's at $20 a share. Your thoughts on the future outlook? Then I did look Schneider up the other day because I did look some companies up. I didn't write it down, I guess. What Schneider's. I don't know. I don't know what. I'd have to look up their history, 5-10-year history, and see where have they been and where they're going. Oh, only if you don't mind 62 miles an hour also. They want me in Sioux Falls by the 18th at 10 a.m. Okay. Let's see. Looking down. All right. You need to get rolling then. I'm with Michael Muller. I'm with Smith, and we asked to keep the trucks clean. There's nothing wrong with that. But they'll bring you the trucking with a bit of dust in the dash and the floor, and they're okay. And we didn't. Exactly. Keeping the truck clean and keeping it in showroom condition are two different things. Those are two different things. My truck switches from on duty to driving reverse to Rooster. Okay, so some other ones are doing that too. Yeah, I tried it. When they switched over, I tried it. I go, will it go? Yes, it does. I love it. Let's see, where did I go off to? Just going to see that right. And I lost that. Okay, there it is. Say hello, Carton Cells. Love your channel. Thank you for being here. I love it. Good afternoon. On a 34-hour restart in Paulsboro, New Jersey, at a TA. Is that TA paid parking? Because on Red Monkey Trucking Channel, they had talked about paid parking. That there's a lot of reserve spots at the TA, and I wonder, what do people think about paid parking? Is it a problem? Should there not be paid parking? And who decides that? Who decides who charges and who doesn't? Don't mind as long as you make over $1,000 a week. Well, look, you should mind, doing a lot of work for nothing. I truly believe that none of these companies take us seriously, right? Because they have a line of people out the door to replace you. That's exactly correct. So really, right, Guillermo, if there's 10 people behind you, then they don't care. And I totally agree with, right? We don't have to wash our trucks once a week. Yeah, some of them mandate it. I went to the shop just this Friday and had dirt on my floors and trash in your passenger seat. They didn't say anything to me and wanted to test it out. Yeah, that's not what they say. All I'm going by is their own words. Just like Greg, right? Your exact words. As long as my phone is in a holder, I'm legal. Yes, you can have your phone. If you're using your phone as an ELD, it just has to be in a mount, right? It has to be mounted. That's all. So mount it. And what they're trying to do, no cup holder, people throw it on the seat or whatever, the phone's got to be mounted then. If you're using it as an ELD, then it's your ELD if you're using it like that. A TMC allowed to wash your truck once a week, but it's only mandatory every 2 weeks. So at the end of 2 weeks, if you can't get it in there, what happens to you? I net between 9 and 12 at Smith. Yeah, Smith has turned out to be a pretty good place here. James Faust, I heard that driver that killed those people out in Denver is going to take a plea deal. Oh, really? Is that in the news? Did that come up in the news? I didn't see that this morning. I did say he's probably going to take a plea deal because there's no way he's going to trial on that. Where did you read that? Right. We'll get that. Check that out. My fault. It's 57 in Winston-Salem. Yikes. Smoke that up, right? TMC has nice rigs and no auto shutoff, says Allman. Oh, right. Hello from New Brunswick. Got a break from my Louisiana run. What the heck? Well, that change used to be once a week. They route you to the truck wash. So they give you a route to the truck wash. Hey, go wash your truck, which they don't pay you for the time that you're in the truck wash, right? Mr. Sammy, TMC discriminates illegally. You have to lift a heavy 125-pound tarp from floor to flatbed, or they fail it, you send you home. Well, let me ask you, how is that discriminatory? Do the tarps there, where they have these big lumber tarps, is that what they're running for 125 pounds? I want to quit with my Mega now, but I have 3 more months for my year contract. Might as well hang in there and get you can go to. Look, if you have 3 months on a contract and then you're out of the whole contract, that 3 months is going to pay you $6,000 or $7,000 in effect that you don't have to pay back. 3 months, just run the winter there. And right now, start looking for a job so you get it all lined up. Get the thing lined up. TMCs are gliders with old engines. I didn't know those were gliders, really? Zach's got 3 months left, but I thought England was 9 months. They say 9 months. How do you get a year there? The 579s are new there. Averett is local in San Antonio. There's one. You could look in the Bimbo bakeries. Look, I'd love to work at a place like that. Trucker Beetle Bailey, what's going on? It's good to see you. Tack Trucking called you a couple days ago, asking if you wanted to come back. Really? Really? What are you going to say to them? Where are the roller dogs? They are always here and available for everybody because it's Roller Wiener Monday. Always, roller dogs are always available here. Hang in there, Zach. My checks are sometimes $500, but I have money in the bank. Yeah, a few months. It's a few months. Think about getting my tanker endorsement. Get all your endorsements if you can get them. Go get your endorsements. They'll sit on there. You never know, and you'll need them. And a lot of local companies want you to have hazmat anyway, so well worth getting. Did you hear about New York allowing illegal aliens to obtain a driver's license? Yes, some states do that. I don't agree with it, of course, but they do it. That's how these kind of states, work, certainly. You shouldn't be allowed to obtain anything if you're here illegally. That's my opinion. Don Pepe, your top 3 trucking companies to work for. Let's see what people say about that. Schneider goes 67. Finally. Can you look and see what depth iStock is, please, when you get a chance? Let's see. You can just type their thing in the Google thing. I can't do anything while the show is on. I got passed by a Schneider truck. Yikes. Why do Schneider drivers usually drive like 62? Maybe they're pounded in their head kind of like Prime. The truck will go faster than the drivers go. James Faust makes $30 an all hauling grain and tipped into Lafayette. Yeah, so hourly job, not bad, right? Home daily, love it. MCT won't let us wash the truck, only at Elm Springs Yard. Well, so you're totally on the other opposite. From people that have been at Swift told me they don't let them wash the truck at all, except at Swift. So at Smith, we have a few drivers that wax and polish their trucks when they take them to shows. Nice. I refuse to pay for parking. K&B will pay if you're sent there for a relay and there are no unpaid spots. Well, at least they're paying for it. But the question is, should it be allowed? Because the video was kind of like this needs to end or we need a raise kind of thing. And I wondered, where that goes exactly. Do you know the reset exemption here in the oil field for drivers is 24 hours? It makes it nice. Because oil field drivers are some that are on different hours of service. This is mega country. Love it. I'm a company driver. Should I go owner-operator? I don't think so. Who makes the most reliable truck? I'm looking at Peterbilt, Mack, or Volvo. There are some owner-operators on here that can comment. I'm not one, and it just never was for me. Some people do really good at it. They're great at being an owner-operator, make a lot of money at it, and some people fail miserably at it, but that is how business works, right? So there'll be some owner-operator that can give you a better idea of that. I'm still being loaded at the shipper, and I was told they're about to go on lunch, so it could be one. Yeah, they go, we're at lunch. We'll talk to you in a while. Nearly half of the lot is paid parking at Paulsboro. Well, what do we think about that? 1 to 2 more hours for King Bob. Saw a news outlet blaming driver shortage. Of course, Fox News blamed it on the economy, and it's none of that. It is none of that. Reserve parking is nice when you're pushing a full day. Peace of mind knowing you have a spot. Isn't there a benefit to it if you can actually get a spot reserved and have a spot where you know it's going to be? You saw a lot of owner-operators pulling Schneider trailers. Owner-operators go faster. They use more fuel then, too. Going 80 uses more fuel. Andrew. Hi, Mark. Flying J in Breezewood. It's closed permanently. Is no longer on trucker path. Wow. What the heck happened? Since you won't share where you work, if your company hypothetically closed down, who would be your second choice? I don't know. In town, I would be some local place in town. I just look around locally, and because I'm just not going back on the road again. I've had, I went a couple decades on the road, and that was enough for me. And now I'm home every day, and I like it. So you get paid for all your time that way. And for me, the road, right, where you're not paid for your time, it's just not something I'm willing to do. And I think that's what everybody needs to say to themselves, which is there's so much time on the road I'm not paid for that I'm not going to do it anymore. Your phone alone can't be an ELD. Not sure if that was part of the question, but needs to be reading from the engine to be compliant. Well, the Fleet Nav systems, doesn't Geotab have a system where it's plugged into the truck and the phone is it like a Bluetooth connection to it? I had somebody write to me about that, so we'll see what you say about that. Wash my truck 3 times a week. In winter, I sprayed it off every day. I do that with the cars if it's salty. Reader from engine and phone works fine. Okay, right. Ordered you and your dad and impeach this coffee cup. All right, congratulations. Merry Christmas early. Steel Horse, it's good to see you today. Yes, we need to get the cat up here. Bridget didn't say hello yet today. There's Bridgie, who's not here anymore. She's living in South Carolina with her mom now. But that's how it goes sometimes. But Gracie, still here, gracing all the, putting hair everywhere, generally sleeping at the moment. Gracie. Where did I go off to? All right, so Andrew, when did that Flying J close? I'm interested about that. Broke down in Galloway, Arkansas. Remember Greg's exact words? He almost hit a truck while driving. Yes, Wild Bill. His exact words, right. Do we need to write the 34 reset on logs after resetting? I don't write anything on the log. I never did on paper logs because what does the DOT say? Time and date of and location of change of duty status. That's what they say. If your company can require you to put more things down there, mine doesn't. And so I don't put down more than you should put down because anything you write down there can and will be used against you. So I always followed the law on that, which is time and date, right, of change of duty status, the line, and location. So Breezewood, Pennsylvania, closed down Flying J or whatever. That's it. I didn't tell what I was doing, nothing. Just this is a change. Here's where I was at this change of duty status. Mike Scott, as Mrs. Clinton would say, not showering every day is deplorable. Well, look, this guy from TuSimple, all right, so that leads into this TuSimple. Now, this is a company that retrofits trucks for automated driving. Okay, currently they retrofit previous year models. They install all the stuff for automated driving. So what did the CEO of TuSimple say? He says this, right? And I love this quote. To drive a truck 11 hours a day without even taking a shower every day, getting far away from your home, the hours truckers work are a tarnish on the glory of humanity. How about that? They are a tarnish on the glory of humanity. With so much unpaid time. That's incredible. That is a great line that guy said, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I can't. So, but that is the CEO of TuSimple. They retrofit trucks. And he said, look, we don't harvest grain like we used to harvest 500 years ago, and nobody complains about that. And he's right. Okay, should we go back in the fields and pick all the fields by hand? Because all this automated, all the machinery, it's all taking people's jobs. Right? That takes people's job. Is anybody saying we should stop all that? No. Are there protests? Stop this international harvester equipment, Case, IH, all that. No, there isn't. And he's right about it. Tarnish on the glory of humanity. Boy, that is one of the best quotes I've ever read. Zach says 9 months for veterans and 12 for non-vets. Oh, I thought it was 6 months for veterans and 9 for non-veterans. All right, well, 3 months, the next 3 months, you can look forward to leaving by looking for a job over that time and getting the correct job for you. John Armstrong, I was looking like I've been in a bar fight. Hey, maybe I have been in a bar fight. On the internet, Mark, so it has to be true. Exactly. I couldn't even get a bank account before I had my work permit. You can't get a prepaid Green Dot card or one of these other cards. Schneider set 67 for teams and 63 for solos because they don't want to make as much money. I told TAC Trucking, yeah, but I would need a date and I would like my insurance to kick in immediately. Why did they call you to come back when they were so adamant about letting you go? If you don't mind, you have a newbie question for the group? Yeah, let's go. Bring it on here. Your company reimburses for paid parking, so it isn't any problem. And so you could reserve a spot, Stillhorse, and the company will pay for it. You know where you're going to park. That's pretty good. So I think there's a benefit that nobody really talks about for the reserved parking, which is, you can get a parking spot. Todd McGuire was turned up by GP Transcom. No tickets, no X2 warnings. Warnings shouldn't be on CSA. I agree. Warnings shouldn't have anything to do with anything. I wouldn't turn you down for that. I wouldn't turn you down for anything I wouldn't fire you for. I don't, that's almost oppressive. It's like an oppressive way to do it. Jeez. Irishman, another YouTube trucker, these YouTube truckers, said that Prime is the top company to drive for. Awesome. They pay $700 a week for 40,000 miles, and then $800 a week for 10,000. Then you get moved to 45 cents. Well, everybody has their opinion. I don't like Prime because it's team training, okay, which I don't consider training at all. You can't train somebody when you're sleeping in the sleeper. So you wouldn't tolerate it for your kid. You shouldn't tolerate it for yourself. So I don't like them just for that reason. The pay there is not terrible, to start. It isn't terrible. But this team training thing, that's got to go. That's got to go. Warnings are on your CSA. Yeah, I don't agree with it. Getting late here, but headed back from Florida. Reserve parking is good when you need a last-minute night spot. A lot of guys are cheap. And I get it. Okay, use it on emergency and see if I pays. So I don't abuse it. Okay, so here, see if I pays it also. But that's the thing. So if you need a spot, you can say, all right, this place is close. I'm going to reserve a spot, and my company's going to pay it because, look, it benefits the company too, right? The truck becomes more efficient because you know you have a spot. So benefit, yes. That guy's recruiting for Prime. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who it is. So it may be. But I don't like it because of the team training. The pay there, I'll give him, is not super terrible to start. There's way worse places for that, but you're not really being trained. And they really push leasing there too. Shifting gears, just got curious about P&D with LTL. If there's currently no open P&D at a company you'd like to work, what we do to get your foot in the door? Well, you can keep bothering about it, or if there's no opening, how can there be no opening? There's a driver shortage. But right, exactly. Look, you can always get on a list then if they have some kind of list and go work somewhere else, right? Absolutely. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Just keep pestering them. Go in there every day. I love Volvo. It drives like a comfy bus, but it has electrical gremlins. Hey, if you don't have to pay for them, it's good, though. But I like Volvos, too. Are you going to get another cell phone holder at the truck show? I won't need one. This CFI cell phone holder, right, from CFI is one of the best cell phone holders ever. So I don't know if I'll have to get another one. Could they improve on it? It's hard to say. Michael Muller says he doesn't work for Prime. I thought the same thing. Okay. Reserve parking is good when you're in a pinch. Would it be better if they used the money to improve the facility? I agree. But if you need a place to park now, I think parking is the worst thing in trucking. It's the thing that needs to be solved. So if you need a place to park and you can guarantee that you get there. Has anybody ever been to a truck stop where they reserved it and they didn't have a spot for them? Has that ever happened, or does the reserve thing actually work? I'll tell you honestly, I don't reserve spots because I'm back at the same place every day. But does the reserve parking work around the country? Shifting, try YRC Freight. They're higher everywhere. Yeah, they have a dock-to-driver program, YRC, and they'll also take you as a driver. Absolutely. Okay, so Fleet Nav Systems. ELD is actually the Go device that's plugged into your engine. That's the device logging the info. Tablet is the interface that drivers use to log. It runs off cellular. So, okay, that's good. So Fleet Nav Systems, if someone had that in there and had it installed on their phone, it would be no different on their phone than on the tablet, correct? So if the phone's mounted and it's just like the interface with the ELD, which is installed in the truck, then that works, correct? Last week it closed, apparently. Horrible service and bad facilities. Blue beacon and idle air on site. Oh, great. They still have idle air? Cellular is more secure, reliable than Bluetooth. Yes, that's true. Hunsley, New York City driver's license for illegals. Yes. How they're going to read road signs in Maine. DOT pulls you out of service. They can't communicate. That goes by the book. Well, driver's license at CDL is different. They haven't said yet, from what I read, that anybody's getting a CDL. They'll get a driver's license for a car. And there's never really been a requirement that anybody speak English to get that. In Indiana, they just got sued, and they used to make the driver's license manuals in 4 languages. Now they're going to be in 15 languages. So pretty awesome. Mike Shaw, what do you think about the article on CDL Life about the autonomous truck that did 2,800 miles? Oh, all right. I saw that. Drove through different trains going from California to Pennsylvania. Well, number one, I don't know how they did that in 3 days, considering there's one driver in the truck, and he still has to log that. So I did think that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I saw that the truck, they say, didn't have any interventions the whole way, which is hard to believe because my radar turns off in the rain. So, but I thought that was pretty interesting. It did 2,800 miles with one driver in 3 days. I'm local home every night and gross 1,200 to 1,300 a week. Can I make more if I go over the road? You might make a little more, but you're going to be gone. So going home every day for 1,300 is 65 grand. You get to go home every night. Not terrible. And so what if you made another $300 a week? You'll spend part of that on the road anyway, and you'll be gone the whole time. Is it worth it? You'll have to decide that for depending on what you want out of trucking and how much money you want to make. Money isn't everything, and there's other ways to make money besides being over the road. You could sell guitars on the street corner. Stanley, what's up, Mark? Been at Iowa 80 for 3 days. What are you doing over there? Are they paying you for that time? Are they paying? Oh, that's great. We can go right back to this guy from TuSimple. Are they paying you? Stanley, are they paying you for the 3 days? Mitchell, are pre-trip inspections required when you switch team drivers? Each driver has to be satisfied that the truck is safe to drive. That's what the DOT says. You have to be satisfied. It doesn't say you have to do pre-trip. It says you have to be satisfied the truck is safe to drive. The question I always ask everyone is, how can you be satisfied the truck is safe to drive if you don't go check it? Okay, because people say, it doesn't say pre-trip. I agree. But it does say you have to be satisfied the vehicle is safe. So to do that without looking at it, I don't know. Timothy, my friend, how is it that you're not raving madman? The whole industry keeps getting beat up. Oh yeah, drivers reamed out of pay and they fold up. Well, you gotta be on top of this. The Celadon thing. If you come out and say, oh, the driver should have known, I don't know what to say. I mean, they should have known. Everybody knew that they were going to close. Anybody that could take 5 minutes to look at the industry figured, oh my God, this place is in a lot of trouble. So you got to get out of a place that is going downhill. When everybody around you, you're in a boat and we're all drilling holes in the boat, you can't be the only one with a bucket. Okay, you got to just get out. Jeff, sorry you're late. I'm an end user that went to public school. I hear you. Been there, right? Over the road is bad. Don't do it unless you have to, right? There you don't. Well, if you live in East Armpit, you might have to. If you want to. How about that? Do it if you want to. Stanley, it's time for a new job. Guillermo, I really don't know who's to blame for these truck driver abuses. The insurance companies or transportation, but then the truck driver is harmed. The truck driver is harmed partly, though, because they tolerate it, right? You only get what you accept. So drivers that tolerate it get it. I agree. David Pierce, 83 in Daytona. Ugh. Captain 776. You're here in Thailand. You can't sleep. What the heck time is it in Thailand? I don't have my U.S. to Thailand clock up here where you got the separate clocks. I'm going to have to add that clock up there. What is happening in Thailand? How's trucking over there? And, of course, what's the temp out there? Who here runs Swift Reefer Team? Wow, that's a interesting thing there. If the Terminator movies had truth in it, the machines will take over. They will. But look, I mean, running the road where a lot of the time is unpaid. Is this guy from TuSimple not right? The working for free, not showering, it's a tarnish on the glory of humanity. I mean, he is so on the money. He's so on it for that. International Harvester equipment is proprietary, very difficult to repair, not DIY friendly. 1099 is terrible. Get ready to owe a lot to Uncle Sam. I've said that, right, Michael Muller, and I totally agree with you. If you're driving somebody else's truck, you are an employee. What is primarily drive 63? Which one's going that fast? 58. They pound that in their head to save fuel. 1099 is no workers' comp. Of course, you're independent, right? You get to pay for that yourself. You can have all that. You just have to pay for it. You can't find a decent parking spot after 6. You could reserve a spot. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these places are going to reserve. You could reserve a spot. But parking is one of the biggest issues. I think it's the biggest issue in the over-the-road industry. There's nowhere to park. The further east you go, the worse it gets. Go to W-2 and get a payment plan to pay off your taxes. Yeah, they'll do payments with you. Had people talked about that. Actually, 1099 is better because you get every deduction and expense as an owner. Just find a quality account. No, it isn't better. You're hosing the place and you don't get all the deductions and you're misclassified. So when they find out and go back, you don't get to take those deductions. You tell the manager they check the trucks. Always put your receipt in the window. Manager will find someone who's parked and kick them out. Oh, all right. What if the guy, I guess if he doesn't move, they'll tell you. Good. I wondered if they actually did that. If they'll come out and say, hey, you're not in this reserve spot, so you got to go. That's pretty good. Do a free cell phone holder giveaway. I would love to have one. Boy, I don't know what this thing is worth. I can't. Maybe I should arrange that with CFI at the truck show. At the truck show, we'll give away 50 cell phone holders. If you haven't signed up for MATS, it's time, by the way. I got my tickets already. The MATS site is open. Just Google up the Mid-America Truck Show 2020. Get your free tickets in advance. They'll send them to you at the beginning of March, and I'll see you at the truck show. It's March 26th to 28th. Be wandering around. Come up and say hi. How do I know the truck owner is paying IFTA? You don't, other than the sticker on the side of the truck. As long as you have the sticker and the card in the truck, that's all you need. RSS 1099 is illegal if you're driving a company truck. Yeah, if you don't own the truck, you're not independent. It's their equipment. You have to provide the equipment. You also have to suffer a loss. You have to be able to suffer a loss. So if you can't suffer a loss, you're not independent. Some people can't even park their car. I put an example of this on Facebook for everyone to see. That's true. Is Chime a good bank? Oh, I never heard of Chime. Ancient Chinese proverb, when looking for empty trailer and drop yard, swinging crank handle means air in system. Oh, all right. Pilot overbooked their parking in the beginning, always gave cash refunds, but still got hosted a parking. Yeah, I don't want a refund. I want a parking place. How about that? They should not do that. Oh, no way. I'm reserved on once in Washington. It was waiting on me when I got there. It was around 6 years ago. All right. So when you're paying, you're getting a spot. Is it worth it? It might be worth it depending where you're going. So we're east especially, 12 miles away, I'm going to get a parking spot at midnight. At least 2 idle air places in Pennsylvania, one in Breezewood and the Flying J. People do use it. I loved it. When it was out, I loved idle air. I totally love it. Both phone and tablet work the same way. So as long as the thing is connected in the truck, your phone can connect with it, and you could use your phone basically as a display for the ELD that is connected in the truck. I think that's what we're seeing here. They keep building all these big warehouse parks, but they don't bother to create any parking areas. Agree? Every big city should have a large rest area nearby that can hold 500 trucks. Yes, I totally agree. There's no reason why there's all this open space that nothing is happening. If out of cellular, Go unit continues to record data and will update on your phone or tablet once you're back in service. There's a cable that you can get to sync the two regardless of coverage. All right? I would want the company to provide that. I don't let them use my phone, though. So they have to provide me with a tablet or they get to deal with paper logs, just on principle. It's easy to log. The driver was on duty, not driving. Okay. Autonomous might be okay for desert runs, but risky exposing to rain or winter due to electrical gremlins. They're saying that, it's not going to be a problem. There were 2 people in this truck, but one was just a computer engineer. The other guy is the driver. So impressive that he made 2,800 miles in 3 days. Not bad. I guess it's safe to call Celadon the crap company of the year. I'll tell you this, the drivers, according to the court, are going to get paid. The court released the money to pay drivers the money that they're owed. So yeah, they did get fired, basically on the spot, but they're going to get their last check, apparently. And I guess they're hosed out of the Warren Act, which they're being sued for. Celadon is being sued for a Warren Act violation. They were required to give 60 days notice because of the size of their company. They didn't. And so they're being sued for it. But I don't know if you get anything. Suing a bankrupt company, it's not a great idea. A company that doesn't have any money, you're just not going to get anything. So the autonomous truck drove 933 miles a day. Nice. Wonder what kind of engine they have in that truck. I don't know, but it's a Peterbilt, so we can go along with that. But Yeah, a single driver did 933 miles. Pretty impressive. Kevin Baker, I need a driver within 500 miles of Fort Wayne. 25 to 30% gross dry van expedite auto parts. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. England will always be crap company of the year. However, once heard Trans Am is pretty bad also. All these large places, they're all, basically on the same kind of level. All these gigantic mega companies. If they hire, when you see ads for them everywhere, they post ads everywhere. I mean, you got to really look at that. Wyland, I'm back. Congratulations. 80 degrees in New Orleans. Dang it. Sam, hello from Laramie, Idaho to Denver, then on vacation. Just in time for the holiday. Celadon says 8 to 10 drivers retire with them. They need to update that to 10 out of 10. Yeah, 100% of our drivers stayed with us to the end. Gustavo, your uncle tried to 1099 you, so I told him I'll leave. He caved. Nice. What kind of uncle is that? 1099, because it saves him money. That's why they do it. It doesn't save you money. It saves him money. Ruben, good afternoon. I'm headed to the Bronx. Yikes. Tell him, hey, you did your Bronx for the year. How are things going to work if there's a major accident with an illegal alien in a motor carrier? Well, the motor carrier will have insurance to pay for the problems that the person who didn't have insurance would have. The TA in Denver will make you move if you don't show your receipt that you paid to park. Good. Put it in the window. They all should do that. You shouldn't be parking. Here's the thing. You shouldn't park in a reserve spot if you didn't reserve the spot. How about that? Do I have a referral code for mats? Probably. I think I saw that on there. I don't know what it is. You don't really get anything for it, so just sign up for mats. I will post it. I'll get it and post it eventually. I should have done that today. You didn't really get anything for it, so I'm sure there's one on there. You're not taking 53 foot to the Bronx. God, here with the long Bronx trailers. Used to go from California to New Rochelle every week twice. 62 hours, 3 days, 20 hours a day in the seat. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, how many years ago was that? Oh, and Fleet Nav Systems, are you going to have any kind of booth there or anything? I'll come over and say hello. I learned right away, get a printed copy of your reserve spot, put it in the window. Driver door, you get a knock at 2 a.m. Yeah, that's what they should give you a thing to put in the window. Absolutely. Dragon, I would love to drive local with your disability. I can't load or unload a truck. Over the road, I don't have to touch. You don't have to touch freight driving local. I don't even open the doors of the trailer. Okay, seriously. I do a drop and hook every day. I do not have to back into a dock or anything. So just because you think it's local, you're going to be loading trailers? No. There's tons of these, point-to-point local runs where you don't have to do that. ABF and who is this? Old Dominion. That's what I'm thinking. They're huge on that. N&M here in Indiana does that as well. They're in Remington. They advertise for this all the time. Daytime drivers there, because they're just running out this weekend, they get paid hourly and make like 30 pickups a day or whatever. But the nighttime drivers, it's a straight line haul run. They go from N&M, they go from Remington to somewhere in Wisconsin somewhere, drop and hook and come back. Old Dominion, the night runs do the same thing. I assume ABF and all these other yellow and all do the same thing. The nighttime is drop and hook. So you don't have to do all these pickups. So just because you can't unload and unload a truck doesn't mean you can't do a local run. Not all local runs are touch. Some of them are probably less work than over-the-road drivers do. Why did I recommend GP Transco even though they pay cents per mile and not hourly? I can't find any hourly companies other than JAT. Really is the only one I found in the United States, and there are probably more, but the only big one that I found that pays by the hour over the road. That's it. I can't find any. So it has to be the best of what's out there at the moment. And so I like GP Transco for that because their pay's pretty good. They have a good bonus program and trucks. And when you call them, they're nice to you and stuff. So, in the industry, that's pretty good. And if you're going to go somewhere, if you just only wait over the road to wait for a company that pays hourly, you're only going to work at JAT. That's it. Forgot it was on non-day, TGIRWM. Hey, it's 2 a.m. Oh, really? 2 a.m. over there? Wow. MCT doesn't pay for parking. See, that's a problem right now. Maybe that should be a thing you ask them too. Do you pay for parking? I should probably add that to the questions. Because if they did, like Steel Horse, they always pay for parking. Okay, well then you always are going to be able to get a spot. So you get in somewhere, you can just reserve yourself a spot and have them pay for it. How much longer is the trucking industry going to last before autonomous takes over? I will say, even though this guy from TuSimple is working on it, it's decades before the drivers are gone, and it's not going to be all drivers that are gone. There's a lot of specialty things that can't be done by an autonomous truck, but it's this over the road, like they did this butter load for 2,800 miles. That's the first people to go, because the guy, like he said, right, it is a tarnish on the glory of humanity, and it will get you back home. You got decades, though, before there's any kind of large amount of these trucks. Falcon is still the crap company of the year. Celadon allowed the drivers to fill up. Celadon did better than Falcon. I'll say that. Falcon just closed. I agree. Celadon got the cards turned back on. They're going to pay the drivers. It's still bad, but not near as bad as Falcon was. The PA Turnpike just added 100 spots at the service plaza before Harrisburg. Toll dollars at work. Finally, you pay enough out there. Holy moly. Schuster reimburses for paid parking. Another one, so at least you can get a spot and know you're going to get paid for it. You get 5 cents on the dollar if you go after a company is in bankruptcy. Wasn't that driver that supposedly made 13 million miles or some crazy number drove for Celadon? No, he drove for KLLM. He's still there as far as I know. By now, he probably has 17 million miles because that was a few months ago. But yeah, he's a KLLM driver. And they put it on the wall. They never answered me. I emailed them about it. Fleet Nav will not have a booth, but maybe next year. All right, I'll be there next year as well, so we'll see you then. You should at least come down walking around. When Bob saying, do you have to go through way stations? Yes, you sure do. Was paid by the hour, and then the company went to miles, stop, and run. My pay went from 51 to 66 gross, home every day. See, not bad. Do you have to do any work, since you're home every day? Do you do any physical labor? They usually wave you through. That's true. You're not going to get expected, probably. Transco Lines pays for parking, so a lot of companies are doing the parking paid thing. That robot Peterbilt truck ran 900 miles. You said in 11 hours to drive time. Isn't it? All I'm saying is that truck did 3 days, not 2,800 miles, and had one driver on board who currently, every state, he has to log that time. He can't put that as on-duty time. He's driving. That's considered drive time. Even if he's not touching the wheel or whatever, that's still drive time, which he has to log. Do robot trucks have to abide by hours of service? No, but the driver does. And as they currently are no laws in any of the states that allow a truck to drive without a driver, the driver would have to abide by hours of service, and the laws don't allow a truck to drive itself. That's the problem. Do they exist? What companies do truckers with physical disabilities work at? I see handicap parking, but who uses it? I've seen trucks with handicaps, signs in them, hanging in the window like a car. I've seen them. So, yeah, there you can get a license, apparently, and have a handicap permit. Yeah. Is this industry exempt from discrimination? Not really. Probably it's like everything else. But, yeah, you can get a license and have the handicap permit, because I've seen the trucks with the thing. I thought, because I've said, too, what the heck? And then you see a truck parked in a handicap spot with the thing in the window. I'm like, well, all right. Good afternoon, gear shifting, logbook keeping, freight hauling, hardworking truckers. Hello there, and ELD using truckers starting today. You've met deaf drivers on the road? Well, that's in the news today, right? Deaf drivers are in the news. Some deaf organization, whose name I didn't write down, there you can get an exemption for hearing disabilities, but you have to go apply for it. They want that ended so that hearing is not a problem for getting your license. Now, companies said, look, this can be a safety problem because backing up, it's an audible alert and all the forklifts and stuff. So they're gonna decide on that. But the deaf organization wants, also taking the test too. They want to be able to sign language the test to people, and that's currently not allowed. So because you have to take it in English, it says not English sign language. So that's pretty interesting. I usually do line haul on my extra shift, Memphis to Birmingham. 64 cents a mile. My regular run is Memphis to Pine Bluff hourly. So on your line haul, do you do any work? I mean, do you load or unload the trailer by hand on line haul? Watcher died on the road. Old driver, a friend of yours, died Friday due to diabetes. I'm sorry about that. If you do have, medical condition, diabetes, go get it taken care of, right? Go in there, take care of it. That's what killed my dad too. So, but he was really a poor patient with it. He didn't follow what the doctor said and stuff, and so he paid the price for it. JJ Godfrey, we pay by the hour, but not really over the road. We're in 2 nights. We're hiring. Not deaf, my truck is. Oh, DEF. All right, Gateway, love it. Mark of Excellence, General Motors is here. I don't think deaf people should be driving trucks. 400 or so got an exemption so far for it. But this deaf organization wants all deaf people to be able to drive. You can drive a car, as I checked into that. It's not a requirement for car driving, but should it be a requirement for driving a semi? Kenworth T60, I'll take a Volvo 780. I think they drive better. Red Monkey Trucking is here. What's up? We're talking about your parking video. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I wanted to see what people thought about parking among other things that are going on here. I have a picture of a place. Who remembers this place? And who's been there? How about that? All right, there is the place. Who remembers it? And who's actually been to the place? Pretty interesting place. But otherwise, on the parking, right? I was talking about parking today, so I wanted to see what people think about parking. And I think that the reserve spots are a benefit, personally. My cousin is a vet with PTSD and gets a handicap placard to use. Okay, in a semi. For his semi, he gets the handicap thing. No work on line haul. They even hook up the doubles for me. So you're at one of those places. Right, I've heard about that. So that's not bad. You come in and the doubles are already hooked up, although I would still check them because you don't know who did it. Right, I'm sure you do. I'm just saying. So there you go, right? So line haul work. That's what I'm saying. Because you think you're on the road and think, oh, I can't unload a trailer, you can go local and work line haul and not have to do any physical work like loading and unloading a trailer, certainly. It says in the driver must be able to read and write English. Yeah, and speak English. Communicate in English sufficient to talk to an officer or whatever. And so they're saying, well, no, what about sign language? Well, that's interesting because you could still communicate with an officer even if you're deaf by like writing on your phone in English, correct, and holding it up because that's how I assume you communicate just with people in general. Not everybody knows sign language, okay? So although some drivers get signed at many days a week, what about using sign language to communicate? CDL for illegal aliens, asked former Governor George Ryan about that. I think we can only ask him what on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2, right? Isn't that when we can go see him? I have a low hearing in one ear due to ear infection that killed the ear. Passed the hearing test. Yeah, you can, but as long as you can still hear, right? You can still hear. You can do it. This place is saying completely deaf drivers, like totally deaf. You said what companies? Well, ABF, Old Dominion. Well, Yellow, right? All these places, R&L, any Holland probably does this. All these night things are usually line haul. It's usually nights, but I guess it doesn't have to be because during the day the local drivers go make all the pickups, but at night it's line haul. So then it's drop and hook. And look at this, we're getting people whose trailers are hooked up for them. How nice is that? So you can do that, and you don't have to be gone if you don't want to. Ever wonder how trucking would differ if it was hourly pay over mileage? Yeah, drivers would get paid. They wouldn't be rushing around. It would be a way better industry. That should change immediately. The current pay system is from 100 years ago. I mean, there's no reason to pay people by the mile anymore other than it benefits companies. Steel Horse said New Mexico. I drove past that place last week, 3 Arrows. This is 2 Arrows, right? 2 Arrows, Arizona. Steel Horse, New Mexico. It's 2 Arrows. Is it in Arizona? No, I don't even know where it is. I wrote it down. Is New Mexico x-raying trucks at the port of entry? Yeah, some places have this big x-ray thing to go through. I'm sure it's totally safe, though. They say it's totally safe. Arnold, transportation-based hourly, if only doing Texas. Okay. That's fun. Well, Texas, you can get a lot of miles in Texas. K. Wayne is limited, but use sign language all the time. Mr. Sam, with deaf drivers, we can help them by putting some placards around the truck. Deaf driver, please give room. All right. That's good. And it could be like this, pointing at his ear, something. Love it. FedEx ground, line haul. Oh, I forgot about FedEx. Line haul, terminal to terminal, and back home daily. Truckers, you're right. No unloading. Al John says, AAA Cooper, great company. I'm sure I'll find something, but not like Werner. Exactly. Trash. You're getting paid for your time. People are hooking up. Love it. Red Monkey Trucking. I could see it being beneficial if there's enough to handle the amount of trucks in the area. Baltimore just doesn't have a lot available. That's true. They need more parking. I totally agree with that. And if people would start paying more for parking, I think there'd be more parking if there was a benefit to it. Like in Indianapolis, there's a lot I've seen it on the road near the J. You get off at exit 4 or whatever down there on 465. There's a paid lot there. Somebody opened up a paid lot. So I think you'll start seeing more of those if people would be willing to pay for the parking spots. This is like a private lot that you can pay to go in. Grain Transportation in Chicago at Laramie and Roosevelt is a company to check out. They have some gravy accounts. Love it. You were there some years ago. You made it but screwed up with girlfriends. There's your problem. Twin Arrows, Arizona. You've been there when they were open, right? It's a mess now, a ghost town. We assist with electric pallet jack, no breakdown. That's not bad. 10-speed manual or automatic, 13-speed manual. Red Monkey Trucking said Twin Arrows. Were you there when they were open? I got fired from grain and still kicking myself today. Hey, you never know. James Faust thinks you should probably get a Super 10 in the truck. Yes, that should be the one you get. At the LTL car I work for, line haul drivers have to drop and hook their doubles. On shorter line haul routes, the driver have to work the dock. Well, now working the dock wouldn't be great, so you'd have to ask about if you have to work the dock. But drop and hook, I mean, that's not unloading, and that's not loading and unloading. Yeah, I think the arrows are on 40, right? Automatic because it's easier to eat a roller wiener while downshifting. Or on there, are they on 80? I put a picture up. I don't even have any idea about where it is. I'll have to look into line haul. Please do. I mean, please, if that's something you want to do, there are local jobs where you don't have to hand unload trailers. Marco, I have a problem getting local work from Swift. They're stubborn about going over the road, and I can't due to family issues. Well, Swift is not a local company. Went to school and upgrade with them. I train over a month. What can I do? You have to go somewhere else. Well, I mean, only honestly because Swift is not really a local company. In some cities, they do have local work, but those are usually probably taken fast. So Swift is probably not the place to go local. Trucker Hershey, I'm not deaf, but maybe we should put that sign in all trailers. Yeah, that might help. Roger works for a FedEx contractor, $1,100 to $1,300 a week, 7 to 10 hours a night. Line haul, right. Drop and hook, FedEx, line haul, no waiting, no parking issue, right? The local line haul drivers don't have an issue with parking anywhere. Mr. Sammy likes line haul. It's fun pulling twin pups, but I didn't like working third shift through rain and snow. Makes you super sleepy, but it's the best if you can do it. It's usually nights. That's the thing. People don't like it, but you get to be home and you don't have to deal with parking issues. 10-speed manual with a Cummins or an automatic Volvo. Well, I take the automatic Volvo because the automatic Volvo we have really shifts great. There's a serious safety issue on the roadways. Off-road light bars, agree. They're very blinding. Where's the DOT going to do a light blitz? Every truck that they inspect with a light bar, they should shoot the light bar out and then take it off and beat the driver to death with it, basically. That includes your truck. Twin Arrows is on 40, just east of Flagstaff. All right, I should know where things are. Line haul equals doubles, triples, hazmat, and taker. It could. You may need to get doubles or whatever. You might. Automatic Volvo 780, super comfy, lot of cushion. They're better trucks. R&L is good for local and line haul. That's what I was saying, right? R&L would be another one to get in there, absolutely. GP Transco's here. Hello, thank you for coming in today. Hey, Ben, Jason, the light bars, they're just ridiculous. They're illegal. They're illegal as all heck. So at an inspection, why isn't that pulled out in an inspection and say, hey, no, and every cop should pull these trucks over that have them on there and just they make them take it off on the side of the road. If you can't, then your truck gets impounded. How about that? That would stop the stuff because it's illegal on the road. What's more expensive to maintain? Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what people think about that. I don't know about the maintenance cost. Swift local pay is really low. I looked into it when I worked for them. That's not a surprise, though. And the thing about Swift is they're not a local company, right? They're a truckload, carrier over the road. So they may not have a lot of local jobs, and it just may not pay that good. You can, if you're in a place where Swift has local jobs, you're probably in a big enough city to find a local job at a different company. Michael Cole saw a real GP truck on Aurora Flying J 2 days ago. That's great. Is it one of these teal trucks? Where'd they go off to here? And there it is. All right. Is it one of these teal GP Transco trucks? There's some info on GP Transco right there. Because I've yet to see a teal one in person. I think they don't exist. You can have some demerits, GP Transco. Yikes. See more GP Transco this week in North Carolina. Aren't they all over the country? Welcome to ELD Monday. Who isn't ready? Yeah, that's ELD Day. How about that? I thought that was pretty clever. I'm in a brand new 760 Volvo. Keep getting opposing traffic flashing lights because the dims are as bright as bright lights. The Volvos do have bright lights. See if you can get your company or you or somebody to point them a little bit further down. But hey, at least they're not a light bar with 43 million LED lights in there to light up the off-road lights here. Come on. Intermodal pays well. Yeah, a place like Hub Group, which is big on intermodal. Now, I don't know about like Schneider Intermodal. I don't know how something like that works. They advertise around here a lot because they run Indianapolis. They're home every day. I don't know if they pay enough or not. Not sure. Mark Kuhn has only seen the white ones. I've only seen the white ones too. Flashlights back to show you're on low beams. Yeah, that's the thing of it. People flash you and you're on low beams, and they're like, sorry. Sorry about that. And people, the parking. People remember about parking. This is where people used to park. A place like this would have been a place going down the road where you'd have to find somewhere to park, stay the night, get a delicious meal, maybe get your truck fixed at the truck stop, something like this. People forget how good it is today compared to that. I'm with Swift Intermodal and it pays well. What is well and what city? Let's just ask what city and what is, well. A lot of that is relative, right? Debating on switching carriers, thinking Celadon or GP Transco. I'm switching to our corporate office in less than a month. All right. Yeah, Celadon, they did put their, they did take down their website, finally. They took their website down finally because I checked it. You can no longer apply there, which is something. $28.95 local pay for Swift. $2,000. I live in Houston. Is that a year or what's the deal on that? GP Transco, you saw them, want to join them? Hey, they're right here. Let's talk to them here. Cattle trucks are bad for that trailer lit up every 2 feet. At least the side lights aren't as bad as those front lights. Holy moly. 108 more teal trucks are being ordered for 2020. I think there's going to be an auction in Indianapolis of some carrier trucks with low miles. You may want to check it and getting a few of those and painting them. Make our country great again. Jeffrey Epstein, Mr. Meme from Facebook. Worked for R&L 12 years ago. Driver had to buy a pallet jack and hand truck, local to load and unload the truck. I'm sure they wouldn't allow that today. We would think there wouldn't be allowed to do that, and I wouldn't do it. Owner-ups make better money in intermodal than employees, at least in Memphis. I haven't seen GP Transco trucks in the last few weeks. I usually see one or two of them a week cruising around, and it's usually white for some reason. They only send the white ones here to the Indiana area. Chicago is $14.50 an hour. Forget that. Holy mackerel. I mean, unless you did a ton of dropping hooks every day, if you're getting stuck in and out of the, if you get stuck going in and out of the railhead, holy moly, you wouldn't get any money. $14.50 in Chicago is not a ton of money. You'd have to do 10 dropping hooks a day to make any money there. I see some owner-operators attached extra yellow flashing lights to their truck. They turn them on at night when they're roaming the rail yards. Is that for safety reasons? How does Celadon closing affect quality companies? Over 2 drivers would lease their trucks from quality saying they didn't know what was going to happen. Those drivers should call quality immediately because what they have said is that they might be able to put them on at a company that also uses the same leasing company. But that's not going to last forever because the leasing company wants to get their money too. So they need to get in touch with their leaseholder. And look, if that happens, they're super lucky. Because what usually happens, like the Falcon that had some lease drivers, you just lose all your money, all of it. All the money you put in, and you lose the truck. You lose everything. So if they can put it on somewhere else, they'll be lucky, and they should get in touch with them immediately because this offers, they're not going to just let it go for month after month, Little Opie remembers the old 76. The last one I stayed at was in Sonora, Kentucky. Nice. Oh, did you get many Celadon apps from GP Transco? I bet they did. My wife and I hope we can come to some kind of arrangement. All right, Red Monkey Trucking. We'll see what they say as time goes on for that. Light bars for log trucks only. Look, if people have light bars and you want to use them in a yard to find a trailer at night or something, that's one thing. Driving them down the road, it's illegal, number one. And number two, it's super annoying. That was stated as salary on Google for Swift. Oh, well, there's no way some local drivers making 28 grand. Holy moly. Wild man, yikes. Cattle truck trailers are lit up like that to back across the road at night or see animals' legs hanging out of trailer. Yeah, that can be understandable. That's not near the problem of these light bars, right? We did get quite a bit of applications and calls from Celadon drivers. One of the recruiters is working on them exclusively for 2 weeks. Wow. So they have just a recruiter just for Celadon. I bet every company within a couple of 100 miles of Indianapolis and every one of their other terminals must have been bombarded with calls. Did you see the article about Taylor that is a side company of Celadon? Oh, Red Monkey, yes. Okay, Taylor in the Carolinas is also a company from Celadon, and they go, we're going to leave this place open. Now, if you worked at Taylor, would you stay there? And then when Taylor closes, are you going to be like, we had no idea this was going to happen? I mean, oh my gosh. I don't know what more of a thing they need to do down there to get people to say, all right, we understand this is going to be a problem and we should leave. I would be out the door there, certainly. But people will stay. I heard Swift Intermodal isn't so bad. It's considered in between Schneider and Hunt. I guess that's good. I start orientation next Monday for Celadon. Yeah, you're just waiting for your bus ticket, right? $28,000 for local. The local Target pays more than that. Yeah, that's no kind of money. All right. That's $700. No, that's $550 a week. $525, $550 a week. That's not great. $13 an hour. You can get $13 an hour if 40 hours is $520. So JB Hunt is terrible, worse than that Chicago $14.50 an hour job. That's not great money. $14.50 an hour is certainly not great money. On the when you get paid by the hour like that, holy mackerel. So paid parking benefit. I'm saying it's a benefit, and I want to put this up here. I was asked this a couple times here. The St. Christopher Fund, they need your help as they do all through the year. You know, they help drivers that have a medical condition. You know, if you have a medical condition on the road, the fund can help pay an electric bill, get you home, get your family to you. They do different stuff for drivers. I want to get them $500. That's what I want to do. So if you do give them any money, just send me an email. You don't have to screenshot what you paid them or whatever. I'll take your word for it. Say, hey, I gave them $2, $1. It doesn't matter, right? They can use all the money that they can get, certainly. So I also want to remind people about Jay. He comes on live every Tuesday. Can you believe that at 8 p.m. Central Time at Auto Transport Intel? Why do we not watch Jay's show in the evening over there? This is the worst time of year for suicides. It's terrible, but it has to be said, right? Some people, if you need this number, write it down, call it. It's free. Go to the website. It's free. You can talk anonymously. No charge, no obligation, no nothing. Okay, but do that before you do anything else. As I put that out there, guys, we can keep the yeah, exactly. Red Monkey Trucking, $20 an hour in New Jersey, driving a dump truck. That is locally. As long as you get overtime, 20 is like right on the edge, especially in Jersey. I don't think $20 an hour in Jersey is great money. I mean, it depends where you are. If the cost of living is low, that's fine. But like, I had somebody write to me from LA at $18 an hour local. I'm like, holy crap! How do you live in LA at $18 an hour? Guys are pulling in $1,100 a week in Chicago Intermodal. That's better. $20 an hour, I guess. Are they paying overtime there? Michael Cole, in the UK, we have a political party called the Monster Racing Loony Party, believe it or not, and they get votes. Hey, that might be better than any of the other parties. You just, you don't know. Let's see, I have a truck picture here. Where did I go? Down to my truck stop. Oh, here's one for everybody, I'm sure. That we can see what kind of truck this is. This was also a common truck on the road in its day. No longer do you see this kind of truck on the road, but and look at the gigantic sleeper. This is what people had to deal with before I started driving, certainly, but this was not that uncommon of a truck. You would see it all over the place on the road, and you were living large when you had this kind of truck. Pretty awesome, really. About a blue parrot brake? Yeah, let's get the blue parrot in there. If you wear it, make it a parrot. How about that? Get your blue parrot right then. Christmas, what? $450s, what? $115 now or something? $112? Not bad, right? Not a bad price for a blue parrot. Don't be like some people where they're holding their phone. Come on. Why are we holding our phone? Chicago is weird. Some intermodal work is okay. Also heard hauling garbage to landfills. Oh, K&B. It's not K&B. It's called KB Trash. KB, I can't remember. It's KB something, at least in Indianapolis. They're advertising $75,000, home every day, hauling trash. Work every day, hauling trash to the landfill. So it's another option. You don't have to hand unload anything. $18 an hour means you have 3 room nights. Yeah, in a 1-bedroom in L.A. Hey, GP Transco has some fun news. Your CEO, Dominic, had a driver-facing camera installed in his car for F-150. And he has a safety manager signed to make sure he is driving safely. That's pretty awesome. I'll tell you this. Here's another fun fact. Here's a good, interesting thing. Maybe videos that go off in his car should be shown to all the drivers. That would really make a statement and say, all right, this is the camera in his own car, and here's a video that went off, and we're going to show it to everybody here so that you all know anytime a video goes off. I don't know. I think that is pretty awesome to say, look, I believe in it so much, I'm going to have it installed in my car. Major severe weather outbreak in Louisiana, moving east to Alabama. Well, at least it's not going to be like the weather here. I think you're the bottom part of what we're going to get, which is a winter storm warning, which is already in effect for the I-70 corridor here through Indiana. It's been in effect for 30 minutes, and it's going through 7 a.m. locally tomorrow. GP Transco, we'll have a video about that shortly. I'd love to see that. That's great. Overtime plus benefits. All right, so 20 plus overtime. Now we can talk some money. $1,100 a week in Chicago is at $10.99. I should have asked that. Because then it's net, right? And so that's why people take it. There's a church trailer at the Petra in Rochelle that has an old cab overhooked to it. Yeah, that's true, right? That thing has been there forever, and I assume it will stay there forever as well. $10 an hour in McAllen, Texas. Holy mackerel. Really? For what? To drive a food truck around? I cannot believe that. I could believe it, I guess. But that people will take $10 an hour to drive a semi. Where are they getting people to drive for $10 an hour? Michael, 3 roommates sounds like Sierra England. Yeah, but except you get less money, right? So the $1,100 won't get you. You'll never get that there. But I agree. 3 roommates, that's the thing. I've seen people get 18 in Los Angeles, and that's just not enough money. Now, the ELD deadline is up today. Today, did everybody get switched over? They said that there were like 30% of trucks or something not switched over, and I thought those must all be owner-operators that are just going to risk it, because I have to imagine most decent companies are getting their everything switched over already. Most of them are probably long done. I'm sure everybody already here has been long done. Yeah, the people at McAllen may be getting drivers from another country to come up and work for that kind of money, because there's no way an American driver is going to work for $10 an hour for driving a truck. I hope. I mean, if you're doing it, quit immediately. You see Sierra England drivers offered a ride home, wondered how they would fit. Well, I think they'll just stuff them all in the truck. That was their ride home, I guess. We'll say Hirschbach and a number of other companies. Hirschbach came out first. We're giving drivers a bus ticket home with no obligation. You didn't have to go to Hirschbach, because some companies were giving drivers a ride to their orientation. And so if you don't like the company, then you're stuck there. I don't know if they were getting you home or what that was. So that wasn't bad. $10 an hour would be improvement over some companies. Well, I guess overall, some people make less than that. But yeah, $10 an hour to just drive the truck. Oh, so GP Transco is going to show the video of the CEO to the drivers. Well, that would be pretty awesome. I wonder how often it will go off in a car. I didn't even know they could hook that thing up in a personal vehicle like that. I guess it just hooks up the same way through the computer and everything the same way it does on a semi. I bet $1,100 per week in Chicago is paid in the 20s in an envelope. Hey, your pay's right here under this. You have to go to like a payphone, the last payphone, and it's underneath there. Fleet Nav Systems said if anyone is still looking for an ELD at this last second, give us a call, Google, and find the number on the website. There are a lot of happy customers. They know ELD, certainly. Getting out of the gherkin industry. I love trucks, but you're overworked. What the heck kind of industry is that? Yeah, I wondered about that too, Steelhorse. Are they going to coach the CEO, and who gets that job? You know, here's what you did. You know who they ought to have do it? Who most companies have do it? The least, acceptable person. That's who most of these companies have do coaching. Hey, where's that 19-year-old that washes the floors at night? Let's have that person do it. That's how most places do it. Food and trash and fuel are still a must in any recession. Yeah, that's correct. You got to eat, you need toilet paper, and then you got to throw everything out. So they say they don't have any layoffs or whatever. I can't remember the name of that place. Something with a K, the garbage place in Indianapolis. And they say they have year-round work for you. Heard that the cleaning house got pushed back to 2023. I heard it down south the wages are low. Driving a dump truck 12 to 14, there's no way. It's not any kind of money. For $480 a week for a CDLA, no way. Michael Cole, I helped run an oil company in Pampa, Texas. We're paying drivers $15 an hour when oil went in the toilet. Did you get anybody to stay for $15 an hour? In LA, you can save money by living in your car or camping with a tent. Oh, you can also buy a rundown RV and park it on the street, I guess, and live in that, as I've seen some people do. I don't think that's a good solution. I think people should move out of a place they can't afford, because living in your car is probably not a great deal. Mark Kuhn lives in North Carolina and at 14 years driving and was offered $14 an hour. I hope you laughed yourself right out the door. $14 an hour. I drive refrigerated beef, beefy, from Missouri to Kansas. Where's the beef? To Oakland, California, and back every week for $1,800 to $1,900. That's more like it, right? Now we're talking some money. You're nearly at $100,000. So by the way, you're one of the highest paid people in the United States. Enjoy your living on the high side of life. You'll make jokes about the pay, but 20 JB Hunt drivers left there to come to Swift saying their pay is better. Well, I guess they're getting a pay raise. Do people not look around at all at jobs? I mean, if they're going to, $28,000 a year from whatever they're making, take a look around for 5 minutes. Holy mackerel. I asked if the guy was joking. That's what I'd say, too. Did I? Oh, I have an exemption for being deaf, I'd say. I didn't hear you correctly. I know guys driving dump trucks being paid $30. That would be more like it, certainly. They were home every night. It was what they wanted. Do you think a Volvo 780 is considered a reliable transmission? I-shift. Do you think it's a solid choice for the first truck? It's 50-50 with everybody. Let's see what some owner-operators think if we have too many on here. Do you like your new live feed setup? I got a program called StreamYards. It's really cool. I didn't see a live feed. I'll have to go back and see that. I just got the parking thing. Here's a $64,000 question. Right lane only. Can a robot truck do that? Certainly. The robot truck would be unlikely to pass anyone. Steel horse beef. It's what's for dinner. Yeah, that's you and Clara Peller. GP Transco's been all ELD from the start, but we know companies that wait until the last minute hoping it would work out. That's crazy. I mean, why didn't they said for a while now they were not pushing this back. This is a hard enforcement date. We have enforcement starting today, the 16th. It's hard enforcement, and so companies are still going off to the last second. Well, I guess Fleet Nav Systems will be busy today getting them all set up. It doesn't make any sense. He said he paid the best in town. Tell him sorry, there's McDonald's down the road. I'll stick with over the road for now. Not ready for that type of pay cut. No way. $14 an hour, whatever town that is not going to be, it cannot be the best pay in town. Does that mean other drivers are making less than $14 an hour? Plus, I'd say if you're the best pay in town, why do you need drivers? You think all the drivers would come and work here? You wouldn't have to go and get me to work here. There's plenty of other people that would come and work here. Where did this thing go here? All right, don't forget about this. What kind of truck is that anyway? I want to put that out there for people. What exactly truck? Anybody remember that kind of truck being on the road? He said the best pay in town. I told him, sorry, we'll stick with over the road. Yeah. What about ECM Transport? I don't know anything about that. Who's heard of ECM Transport? We rolled ours out over the weekend, but it was set up to run. Everyone had to go back to base for training. Why are they doing this so late? They've known about this for a long time. What are companies doing? Oh, we'll just hold it until the weekend. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, it's a Freightliner, but what is it really? That's not the full name of this brand of truck. It's not just a Freightliner brand, right? That's not the brand of truck exactly. Matt's is March 26th through 28th. I hope everybody will be there. It was fun last year, but this year should be tremendous. So I hope for everybody. I will not be there Thursday for sure. Okay, so I'm looking at Friday and maybe Saturday. We'll see how it goes, but certainly Friday, be down at the Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville, Kentucky. There's truck parking. There's hotels. Get your tickets. If you live in the area, just drive down there. It will be tremendous. It's the largest truck show in the world. Will GP Transco have a booth there? Let's ask them that. Let's see if they will have a booth. And anybody else that has a booth, you should come in to say hello to your own company. If your company is going to have a booth there, sometimes companies give you tickets, but they're free to get. So it isn't any problem. Right. It's a white Freightliner. Right. That is the actual brand of that truck, white Freightliner. You don't see them now, but then with the big 36-inch sleeper on it, that was the truck to have, right? I mean, holy mackerel. Sue's working over Christmas. Michael Cole. Some companies, pay a bonus if you work over Christmas. I think they should pay you for Christmas Day whether you work or not. We get paid 2 days for Christmas and 2 days for New Year's as paid holidays. But I think you should at least get Christmas and New Year's Day as a paid holiday, certainly as a full day of pay on those days. That should be policy at all places. Hopefully it is. Some of them don't pay anything. Some pay if you're going to work, and some pay the holiday either way. So if you're working, do you get paid extra? Do they have a bonus? Do you get paid the holiday? How's that working at your place? Was the ELD law pushed by ELD companies so they could make a lot of money? Maybe. But really, the ELD law partly came about because of drivers. I mean, let's be honest. When you run 3 logbooks all the time and get in trouble with that kind of thing, there's a problem. So this is what they did to enforce it, to enforce the law. Remember, the laws don't change. Everybody's up in arms about the ELD. The law didn't change though, right? Only the ELD changed. Now you have to get it logged, but the laws didn't change. So if you were following the law before, the changeover won't really have any effect on your pay. I'm getting a bonus plus holiday pay because are you working that day so they're paying you extra? Wildman is working through Christmas so it doesn't screw up my every other weekend home. Okay. Do they at least pay you holiday pay for Christmas Day then? If we're on the road, they pay us for our meal. Well, that depends how that goes, right? Do you have to turn in a receipt for that? In other news, we're officially nominated Best Fleet to Drive for. Fingers crossed the results in January. That's pretty good. How do you get nominated? I think that's great. How do you get nominated for that? And where do people vote for that? Alexandra, I've been waiting to hear from you. Hope you're having a happy holiday. Yes, thanks for being here. I'm glad you made it through sitting down there for a 34-hour break. I was actually wondering about that. And so it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Schneider will start paying holidays next year. How nice of them. Now, if you're there or know about this, is it a full day's pay or is it a flat rate? Some places pay both. Some say, all right, we give you a day's pay. Some say, all right, we give you $70. And then apparently some say we pay for your meal. The way my schedule works, we do 20 on and 10 off. Oh, okay. My 20 starts back on the 23rd, so I'll be working Christmas. Will they have anything for you to do to come back? I mean, you need to, on the 23rd or 24th, you need to pick up a long load because you get that 26 delivery, it's 400 miles away. That stinks when you come back from stuff like that. I'm working all that week, get 250 bonus plus that holiday for Christmas Day. All right, that's not bad then. I know some place that is not going to be working on Christmas. That's my prediction for that. That's terrible. I get paid 8 hours holiday for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I'm working both days for an additional double time each day. Wow. That is the benefit of a union job, I think. Mike Walsh gets $100 slapped on him. That's not too bad. Steelhorse gets 2 days paid, plus mandatory they get you home, so you're home anyway. Plus you can volunteer if you want. The guardhouse is closed for 24 hours. All right, so you're in. I'd rather take the home time, certainly, but you're getting the 2 days. That's awesome. That's what a company should do, not, we'll start paying holidays next year. How nice of them. Would I consider running for president? No. I think it's probably a difficult job at best and a thankless job, and everybody hates you basically no matter which party you're from. And I doubt I would get elected. GP Transco are the new truck short of Freightliners. They should be Western Stars. Is anyone happy with the pay at trucking? Yes, it depends what you do, right? Chi-Town, it depends what you do and where you live, too. Alexandra's in Indianapolis. Finished up your break. I'm about to roll. Have a load going to Atlanta. Well, good. Get the heck out of there, though, because as you saw, I-70, and you're already in the winter storm warning. It started 45 minutes ago, and it runs until 7 tomorrow. So start heading south. You're going to need to hit the Kentucky line, and you'll be out of it. Hey, Mark, brand new driver in his second week. Congratulations, working for FFE. Merry Christmas. All right, Carl, what do you think about, what are your initial thoughts on FFE for other new drivers that can help them out? Most of them are. We're still deciding on the rest of GP Transco. 3 log books, the way to go. It was the way to go years ago, but really that's not the right way to do it, right? If you think about it, when you run all these extra hours, the industry doesn't need as many drivers. And the less pressure on the industry, the less money you make. There's some AOBRDs on sale for 50% off. An owner-operator, the company I'm leased to, pays us a holiday rate if we want to work. I'd rather family time. Hey, as an owner-operator, I think that's pretty good. I think that's probably unusual and not bad. And then you get to choose. You want to be home? Do you want the rate? I agree. Right, the family time better. You can't buy time back no matter how much money you make. That's what I try to tell people. When you lose time for free on the road, you can't buy that time back later. It's just gone. Companies need to realize that and really pay drivers, the way they should be paid, which is respecting their time and paying for it. A company pays a $500 bonus to anyone who's available for dispatch now through New Year's Day. So you have to stay out the whole holiday for $500. Ooh, I would say no. Furious Badger, love it. JBS pays holiday pay and gives off on Christmas. All right, so that's not bad. Mark agrees it should be Western Stars. Unfortunately, we don't write the checks there for 100 trucks, which I cannot imagine writing that big check out. Alexander, I-70 is a mess. I saw several trucks in the ditch. Oh, great. Right, I'll be down there a little bit later today, so head south as soon as you can. It showed green on the map, though. Alexander, rolling. Drivers stay safe. Thanks for that. Glad you made it out of Tennessee area, and get down to Kentucky as soon as you can. How did running 3 logbooks work? It worked great. You can never stop driving, but not great that way. As long as you can keep track of where all the logbooks were, you're all set. You just had to, if someone asked you for one, you had to hand out the one that you were currently using. Carl Walsh, not bad. The KLM school was good. My trainer is great. 3 years experience. Well, that's better than most places. Pays 40 cents once you're in your truck. Training is $450 a week. Not great, but better than some companies. It isn't the worst. It's a little on the low side, but hey, you're getting experience, and so you're all set, right? TMC offered me to stay out the entire month of January for 2%. All right, what do you think about that? Extra 2% if you stay out the whole month. I would tell them no, but I don't like percentage. Going south from Indy, we'll be in rain in Columbus and out of bad weather. Okay, yeah, the map was showing, pretty far south for the winter storm warning, but once you get out of south, you're all set. It's like 33 degrees here right now. What do I think of lease purchase? I hate it. Unless you get it on your own. That would be the only way I would say to do it. Get it away from a company. If you lease purchase from the company, you can expect not great results. So go buy the truck yourself. Control the asset. You want to control the asset yourself. That's your truck. Michael calls someone here frying up some bacon. Wipe out me a skillet for your truck. Super nice. And you keep it in the truck so she can't hit you with it. With 3 books, 1 book is running behind, 1 is actual time, the 3rd is running ahead. Work it. That's true. Rain in Louisville, Kentucky, Christina. Yeah, once, and if you're going to go south or whatever out of there, you have it made. We would put a dot on the books, 1 or 2 or 3 dots. So you always knew, okay, which book do I need to hand out at what time? And so that's how we used to do it. It's the early 90s. Okay, because look, I was doing that too, and now I realize how stupid that is. But so as soon as you start a new book, you take the old book, I would do this, and just rip the pages out of it because you can't have any evidence, right? First thing you got to learn, get rid of the evidence. So that, and then you have this current book, right? So now this book is current. So then you have to go back and fill another book out once that book was bad. That's how I would do it so that there wasn't any evidence. But that's not a great way to do it, because if you're willing to do 2 drivers' work, you're not getting 2 drivers worth of pay. And they don't have to hire another driver to do all that extra work. It just cuts your pay. It overall cuts your pay. So I'm unwilling to do it now. I don't give them any free time now at all. And people shouldn't do that. If nobody worked extra hours like that, where I see it all the time, they're creeping around the truck stop. Why? Because they don't want their ELD to switch over. They're creeping here and there. Don't do that, okay? Don't let companies do that to you. The only reason we do that is because we're not paid properly to start with. If you got paid by the hour, you wouldn't worry about doing that. And so that's why I think hourly pay is a better solution than all this mileage and then a list of 40 other different things that they're going to pay you for. Just pay people by the hour. Qualcomm went down last week again. Had to do paper logs to get load info over the phone. Holy moly, I have a picture of this too. Did you have to use this? Is this where you had to get your load information? Remember when there used to be 50 of these at the back of the truck stop? Some of them actually had booths in them for a while, like 76s. I can remember had some booths in there. Then they went to the wall phones. But did you have to stop at a place that looks similar to this to get your load information? Wow. That would be terrible. We don't realize how good we have it until you have to call in and get your load info. Just hand him all 3 logbooks, you'll confuse him. It was always nerve-wracking. You know, you got to hand out the correct book. He's like, where are you? You know, or whatever. And always know what you're doing and everything. Creeper at the truck stop, I'm that different. There's always somebody creeping around the truck stop going, 2 or 3 miles an hour. You know what they're doing. And the reason they're doing it is because they're not paid properly. Drivers that would be paid properly wouldn't have to do that. So instead of getting and telling the company, hey, why don't you pay me properly, or ultimately quitting and going somewhere that pays you properly, you have to creep around to try to maneuver your log, finagle your log, so that you can make the amount of money that you need to make every day, rather than just getting paid the proper amount of money to start with. I think that'd be a lot easier way for companies to do it. They seem to be really unwilling to do it. I've only found a couple places that really do it that way, because the rest of the companies simply won't do it. Steel Horse Boss said he knew when I used to get back on the yard, he saw the fire from burning old logs. So, did they have one of those big barrels, one of those oil barrels right by the door, so you can toss all the extra ones in there and burn them up before you go inside? We used to use the gambling paper for them so that it just flash paper, just poof, go up in flames. I didn't see any logbook, officer. That's good. What's the deal with truckers? What's the deal with truckers tailgating each other and cars? Snow and rain doesn't stop them. No, of course not. Magic brakes, lots of people that shouldn't be driving. You said it not paid properly. Yeah, the thing is, just because you're not paid properly, you shouldn't be doing things that are unsafe. Creeping around the truck stop, I guess, is not unsafe. It's just annoying to everybody else, especially if you're creeping around with your LED lights on. But this kind of stuff, yeah, it's unsafe. And drivers always say, many organizations are like, oh, well, it's because drivers are paid by the mile or whatever, but that doesn't give you an excuse for that kind of thing to be unsafe. Go to your company or quit and go somewhere that pays you better. Don't, run people off the road and stuff. And you're right, this happens all the time. It isn't any good. Don't forget to get lotto tickets tomorrow. It's a great retirement plan. Is the lotto a lot of money or something? Christina McDonald's had phones like that in Evansville on Highway 41. No more payphones there anymore. No, because people use them for nefarious purposes. Does anybody remember this phone? This is a famous phone booth. That's why I have a picture of this booth. That they made a movie out of this phone booth. So, but that is a famous phone booth. But they used to be in the truck stops all the time. You'd wait for the phone booth. Ivan, our company had ELDs for a year, but decided this week to try 2 new companies. Oh, that's a great idea. And pick the best, as our current company has many issues. Telogis work plan. I never heard of it. Did they pick somebody? And this is a good idea at the very last second to pick a new plan. Hello, how are you, Mark? I'm doing great. It's being wonderful over here. Is Geotab on the list? That's correct. If you guys want to consider it, please reach out. They have the best support in the business. Yeah, talk to Fleet Nav Systems for some Geotab stuff. Yeah, no excuse. There can't be an excuse for tailgating, for driving unsafely. The ultimate thing is to drive safely because, look, you kill somebody. That's no good for them or you, of course. But what kind of professional are you to do that? You can't be. Here's the thing, the pay. This is what I always say about pay. And I get mad. People get mad at me. I don't care. The company says, all right, here's how we pay you. Here, this way, this is how you're going to get this. Okay, so you agree to that pay. Then when you get out there and you don't like the pay, you don't get to drive unsafely and stuff. Your option is to go to them and say, I want more pay. And if they say no, then you can quit and work somewhere else, or you can do whatever. But you can't drive unsafely because you don't like the pay or you don't feel like you're getting enough pay. So you're like, I have to rush around and drive unsafely and tailgate people. That's not great. That's not the thing you should be doing. Your option in America for any company, of course, is to not work there or go and say, look, I need more money. I don't feel I'm being paid properly. And then if you didn't work there, if they couldn't get anybody to work there, they would have to raise the pay. Western Express is always a great example of this. At 27 cents a mile that I've seen on the for Western division at Western Express, no one should work there. Okay, the only reason they can pay 27 cents a mile is because they get people to drive their trucks for 27 cents a mile. All right, that's crazy. That's a decade, 2-3 decades old of pay. If no one worked there immediately, they would have to raise their pay. And it isn't, you don't need a nationwide strike for that. You just need every individual person to say, all right, for $500 a week, I'm not coming in to be gone from my family. And when Western couldn't get anybody to do it, they'd have to raise their pay. Doesn't have to be a strike. It's a personal strike that you say, I won't work for that kind of money. Once people do that, the pay changes. But you have to just do that for yourself. Change your whole level that, like, I'm not working for this. I'm not sitting for 4 days for this. I'm not going to sit Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and all to wait for load without pay. I'm not doing it. And so that's what you have to do. And once everybody does that, you got it. Was that the phone booth from Dual? No. That's good, though. Was it 38 cents Western flatbed? All right. Well, Western van, they were showing 27 cents here earlier this year to start for some students for student pay. Wow, that's low steel horse. Yes. Can you imagine getting paid like it's, you're not even living like it's 1999. You're living like it's 1989. That's super low pay. But, once you realize that, your option isn't to tailgate people so that you can put more miles in. That's not the way to raise your pay, certainly. Western will never run out of felons. Look for another job. They are a second chance company. And so maybe you don't have any choice but to take it, I guess. And so that's how they get away with it. They know that, what are you going to do about it, basically? This phone booth was considered the loneliest phone booth in America. It's in the Mojave Desert. It's not there anymore, but they made a movie out of it. It's like 15 or 20 miles from the nearest paved road. And I thought it was interesting. It was set up years ago for some miners, not miners like children, but miners that work in the coal mines. I guess if they're 17, they're miners. But that's another story. Either way, and it's the loneliest phone booth in the world. Some news got out about it, and people would randomly call it, and other people would sit there. I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's the loneliest phone booth in the world. Michael Cole, they make more money from tax breaks than they have to just put them through orientation. Oh, I totally agree. Look, that's the other thing that needs to end, among many things. Companies should not get any kind of money for bringing people into orientation. It encourages them to just bring you in, and then for whatever reason, they let people go. They don't even send you home. Now, should they send you home? I think if they bring you to orientation, they should send you back to wherever they got you from. They brought you in, and they should send you back. But they shouldn't be doing that in the first place unless there really is something that you were trying to hide that they didn't find. Because if they do a search and they do a background check, all that should be done before you show up. Once you show up at their front door, all that should already be done at any company. So they would have to find something that was way hidden. And all this tax money for this stuff that these huge corporations get, sometimes they make more on that than having the people drive. That's why it's just such a paltry amount of pay. They're just making money all along on it. That should end immediately. There shouldn't be any tax breaks for any of that kind of stuff. Companies that want to hire drivers, it's up to them to hire drivers and put drivers on and pay them. Certainly. Michael, 17 years ago, you started out at 36 cents. Wow. Imagine getting 27 cents today. George Wilson, there used to be a company in Chicago that had a dozen ways to pay you depending on the customer load and route. It's crazy. I've seen some of these places. Who was it? I think Decker is one of them that's got this super complicated bonus system. It's all points, but it's way super complicated. It's in 4 sections. You need so many points here and 30 points of this and 10 points of that. I'm like, holy mackerel. Why is it so complicated? Just make it simple. But the more complicated it is, number one, you'll miss stuff on your check. And the more complicated it is, they don't have to pay you all these bonuses that are really hard to get because you had to do so many different kinds of things. Everything had to fit together. It's like a puzzle. Make it way simpler. I used to supervise a shift at a second chance place. Some of these guys were really awesome who made mistakes and others stole stuff to sell to swap meet. I agree. Look, everybody deserves a second chance. I've always said that, and so agree. And people shouldn't be hosed on it because they had a problem, but that's what Western does because other companies won't hire them. So they're basically taking advantage of. It's almost worth it, though, to get back in. You still can get experience and go work somewhere else eventually. I don't like it. GP Transco wants to do a holiday giveaway next Monday, December 23rd. Will there be a show that day? There will be a show that day, as a matter of fact. So, all right, we can do that if people want to do that. I don't know. People may not want to do that, so we'll see what people think about that. In Europe, all truck drivers are paid by the hour or salary, over the road or local drivers. It's illegal to pay by the mile. Really, Hunsley, when did they start that? And that's interesting. What reason did they give? I'd really like to know that. For making it illegal to pay people by the mile. Or is it because the mileage is so short of miles? I guess they could pay more per mile, though. They reported a non-reportable accident as a DOT one for mine and said I was towed when I wasn't. Just had a brake line snap, mechanic fixed in 30 minutes. Yeah, and how do you get that solved? I mean, it's really hard to solve that. Companies that do that kind of stuff. I agree. Trucker Hershey, GP is giving away a truck. All right. Some drivers say there are too many regulations in trucking. It seems like there's not enough regulations. Didn't they deregulate since the 80s? They deregulated the industry so that, so in the early 80s and really all of trucking up until it was deregulated, routes, you had to go to the government and prove, all right, this route needs more trucks. Like an example, Chicago to St. Louis. All right. I want to open Mark Trucking, Chicago to St. Louis. I have to go to the government and say, you know what? They need more trucks, and here's why. And then they allow me to have 1 or 2 trucks or whatever. So there was no competition, and so the rates were really high, and drivers made great money because of that. But the money was because the government regulated the routes, where it wasn't competition. This is what it would have paid really low then. But because you have no choice, you go, I only got 1 truck. You got to use me, period. And I'm charged $3 a mile, even back in 1980. You had no choice. And so the drivers made good money. Deregulation ended all that. You didn't have to prove that you needed to put a truck on the route. You could just put out as many trucks as you want. And so then the rate floated based on competition, which reduced the rates. And everybody thought, well, it's not fair. But it was really almost communism because the government was the reason you were getting more money. The same government that people hate and think is ruining the country didn't mind it when they regulated their own pay. And it shouldn't really be like that. I don't want an old Celadon truck. I don't know. They should get some of those. Some of them are low miles. I was to judge a decision away from a felony. I sent the judge an email once a year to thank him. Good. Yeah. Here's what I think about that stuff. It's not necessarily trucking related. If you get a misdemeanor and you get out or never go to jail, you keep your record clean for 3 years. I would clean your record so nobody could find it. Done. Okay. And a felony, I would say 10 years, and I would clean your record because it isn't fair. You can do something stupid when you're 18 or 19 and you get a felony for it or whatever. Even if you don't go to jail, you still get a felony record. When you're 53 years old, you still can't get a job at some places because of that. Even though in all those intervening years, you didn't do anything. You're like, all right, I learned my lesson, and you are an outstanding citizen. You still can't do anything. You feed orphans every weekend. It's not fair. It's not fair to do to people. in a country that professes, second chance and helping people. I don't like it. I don't like the whole system. It shouldn't stay on your record your whole life. You should get a chance to renew yourself so that you can make something of yourself again and not be held back by something you did 40 years ago. It's crazy. I asked K&B about me when I explained they hired me, told me to get a lawyer, get it fixed. If they don't, hey, why don't you go get a lawyer and fix that? That's not going to cost anything. Hey, Mark, do you have some advice for explaining adverse conditions to the boss? Well, an adverse condition is something that wouldn't be expected and something you could not have anticipated at the beginning of your run. So, like today, we already have a winter storm warning. I guess that's a good example. So would a snowstorm in December in Indiana be an adverse driving condition? Well, I don't know about that. I mean, right? Is that something that we could not have anticipated? I don't know. So are you going to get the extra time for that? I would probably not allow it because it's already in the news. It's been in the news since yesterday afternoon, and it's something that you could find out and you could probably expect at this time of year. Our electronic log devices, are they more strict? And speed limit for trucks is 90, like 55 miles an hour. Are they more strict than this? I mean, these are pretty strict, I think. My first job and first road side check, I put myself out of service because I stopped hard on the pedal to be towed, and a company mechanic said nothing wrong. Company wanted to fire you. Nice. Send pictures that you take while safely parked. I will say this. If the weather is bad like today or at any time and you don't feel it's safe, park the truck, no matter what the company says, no matter what anybody says, because that's your record on the line, certainly. Now, a company, though, a decent company, any decent company will back you up on parking in bad weather. Still got the misdemeanor but no felony. That's better, right? Misdemeanors fall off after 5 years, 14 years sober. Praise the Lord. All right, great. And good for you for that. Misdemeanors fall off after 5 years. But like some companies say, have you ever been convicted? So what about that? ELDs are more strict, or other non-compliant logging devices have a set of requirements that the FMCSA define and they must follow to be considered an ELD. And that's the changeover today, right? All these things have to meet these new standards of 5 miles an hour and all these other reasons. And connected to the truck directly. Where it reads the engine. MCT has me nervous. They got rid of a breakdown, used Road Squad, and got rid of overnight office personnel. I don't mind them using Road Squad. Most companies contract with TA and all these other places on the road to get stuff fixed. That's okay with me. I do think that if you're running day and night, there should be at least some kind of phone number to call 24 hours a day. Records hours of vehicle speed. Our safety guy sends conditions on at 5:30 every day. Nice. If you're in the area for bad conditions, all you have to do is let operations know and you're okay not to move. That's great. So they don't want you driving around in unsafe conditions. That's pretty awesome. Imagine that. Exactly. He harassed me. I'm Louisiana to Texas right now for several accidents and heavy rain. Quit counting after 4. Look, heavy rain, park it. If you don't think it's safe, park it. Tell them to get lost. Records hours and vehicle speed, although I don't think vehicle speed is directly related to the required ELD info to be sent to the DOT in an inspection. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it monitors that. I tell the truth. I ask him, what does my record say? I guess if you have anything in the record, you could look it up yourself and see what's in there first before you turn anything in. Who has seen this road sign? Traveling in their travels. This was another interesting sign I remembered. And who has seen this sign? I looked up where that goes off to. There's that sign right there. I always remembered seeing that sign. I eventually looked it up to see what it was, and I always remembered what that thing said. But if you have any kind of record, misdemeanor, felony, look up and see what they're going to find, and see what you have to put down. But if they find out something you didn't put down, that's probably a reason to either not hire you or fire you. Still, this stuff shouldn't stay on your record your whole life. 18 and then 40, 50, that happens to some people that do stupid stuff. And, some people are hard-nosed about it. And I used to be that way too, really, a little bit, where, you shouldn't have done anything wrong. Well, it's all these years later. People do make mistakes and should be allowed, some kind of, the benefit of time to retrain themselves to become citizens again. Otherwise what? What are they supposed to do? Should we just shoot them in the head then, I guess? I mean, that's not a good solution. If people are, change their lives around, let's let them be productive again. You just ordered your deck report from Higher Right. Oh, you're going to see what's on there and see what they say? Al Johns has seen it. All right. Where is it, though? Josh has passed it a few times. Isn't it interesting? I mean, it's super interesting sign. And that road goes a few miles down the road there if you get off that road. I don't think you can take a semi down it, so don't get off the road otherwise, though. I think it's car only. It goes down there to like a little spa area, which is closed now, off of Zizek's Road. I just thought it was interesting the first time I saw it. So the ELD deadline is up. Celadon is getting a Warren lawsuit. The Worker Adjustment Retraining and Notification Act. A company lawyer firm has filed a lawsuit against them. And will they get any money? I don't know, because there's a provision in the act that says companies that have an intervening act happen to them don't have to give you notice. Like there's unforeseeable circumstances. And so what they're going to say is, well, we had no idea until the last minute that we were going to close. If the court buys it, they won't have to pay anything. That's so terrible. So will you get anything out of it? Probably not. Rolfson is paying $25 an hour for fuel fracking in Aldo, Texas. ZipRecruiter, or indeed, yeah, ZipRecruiter. Okay, yeah, they're still paying good money down there if you're in the area. Cheapy had a driver abandon a truck. Will now be on his record. Thoughts about abandoning a company truck? Don't do it. Michael Cole, I agree. Don't do it. Never abandon a truck. It's a company's truck. If you want to quit, you can quit, but you got to give them their equipment back. Give them their truck back. Why do you want an abandonment on your record? That's number one. And what are you doing? Okay, you're a professional, right? Go take them their truck back and quit if you don't want to work there. I mean, in the United States, basically, you can quit anytime you want to. And so give them their truck back and go, I'm out of here. Now the company has to go get the truck and everything. And you're like, oh, I don't care. I abandoned the truck. That'll teach them. Okay, I guess. I guess it taught you that now you have an abandonment. It's hard to get a job, rightfully so. And this is a rightful abandonment. But it's crazy. Trucker Hershey's going to go get it for them, but they already have another driver to recover it. It's sad, but I assume a company, once you get some trucks, you'll get some abandonments. It's no good. I'd recover this truck for K&B driver has it on his record. Yeah, if you have to go get it, they have a right to put it on your record, and most places are going to be like, well, why did you abandon the truck? It's hard to explain that. It's hard to explain why you abandoned the truck, why you didn't get the truck back to the company. Keep your fingers crossed the European ELD system never gets here. Well, what is the difference? Why would the European ELD system, why would it be bad? What is the downside of having a European ELD in the United States? How is it different than what we're doing here? All the time is monitored. I guess maybe you don't get as many hours, but that's about it. Did he abandon it because he was a bad employee? He had a family emergency. Never abandoned a truck, but I can understand but not agree with some situations. I don't know. The only reason, I guess, is if you're in a hospital, but that wouldn't really be an abandonment. So I don't know. I'd have to know the whole thing, but it'd be tough for me to say to a driver, you can keep the truck there. It's just not right. If you had a family emergency, let's think about this, Al Johns. So he has a family emergency. We go, okay. You would call the company, go, I have a family emergency. This is where the truck, what do you want me to do? That's how I would say it. What should I do with the truck? A company, if you've been there any length of time, they might work with you, bring the trucks back, whatever, stuff like that. It just depends. But for a family emergency, you got to call them up and say, look, this is what happened. As soon as Roger Penske is here, as soon as the bankruptcy filing is stamped at the courthouse, the only person with the legal authority that can tell you the disposition of the equipment is a bankruptcy judge. Do exactly as they say, keep the equipment in good condition, all the communication with the court by mail, and he will be right. I agree. But the thing is, at least for this driver I was talking about before, this Houston driver, Celadon had not filed bankruptcy, per se yet, is that they told him on the Qualcomm, look, we're closing, whatever, bring the truck back to Indianapolis terminal. And he didn't. He drove the truck, to Texas from Indiana. And so I think that is a real problem. Will they put anything on his record? I don't know. We do hear drivers are talking about how no good company will hire them and blame it on the company and the industry. Or will they have an abandonment on their record? Well, I'll say this, GP, somebody that would abandon a truck would be the kind of person that would blame stuff on everybody else rather than on themselves. Nothing is ever their fault. I have problems, me. You have an obligation to get the truck back to the company, regardless. And people, you're so heartless. No, regardless of your personal problems, that's, as they say, that is a you problem. Okay, that is not a company problem. It's their equipment. Get them their equipment back. Have arrangements, do something to get their equipment back to them. It's theirs. Other problems are yours. People always think that when they're an employee that, oh, well, we're working together or whatever. We're part of this. You're not really part of it. You work for them. And so you have obligations that you enter into by being an employee. One of them is they get their truck back, even if you have a family emergency. Yes. Is that terrible? Maybe. But your family emergency is not their emergency. It's your emergency. Bring them their truck back. Your nephew is still a trucker in the UK. England has a fleet to get abandoned trucks. Really? Yikes. How many trucks do you have abandoned when you have to just have people at your company? That's all they do is go collect abandoned trucks. If your kid or wife is in the hospital, communication solves a lot. Right. If your wife goes in the hospital, you can call up a good company that you've been at for a while and go, look, here's this deal. My wife's at the hospital. This is the truck. What do we do? I would say, what do we do now? And work with them and say, what can we do? Can we get the truck? What's going on? Am I fired? What's happening? Call them up. As somebody that just abandoned the truck obviously didn't go into that kind of detail about what their life is like. And so then they get an abandonment. And hopefully the next company is not going to hire them. It's official. Can't crawl to the fuel line on sleeper berth anymore. ELD puts me into driving. Well, it depends on the company. From what I understand, it's 5 miles an hour by regulation. And we'll get Fleet Nav systems to verify that. But otherwise, yeah, absolutely. And here, my thing on it always is that's driving. Okay, so you can't crawl in the sleeper berth. Well, duh, you shouldn't be in the sleeper berth on the fuel island. What am I looking at here? But if you're driving the truck out of the fuel island, are you not driving the truck? Oh, Mark, that's not driving. It isn't? It's driving. By law, it's driving. Michael Cole, family emergency. Most companies will work with you. When your oldest died last year, even Western got me home in 2 days. So you worked with them, and I'm sorry to hear about that, right? You worked with them, and then they get you home. There's no abandonment, nothing, right? So because you're not trying to abandon the truck. You have an emergency, and they will work with you. But ultimately, you can't just leave the truck, right? Most people agree. You can't just leave the truck. I'm just driving home. I'm not going to call the company, nothing. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Hey, Mad Hatter, what's going on today? Prior to the bankruptcy filing, the company still belongs to the salad. I love it. And you've been trusted with a vehicle that's $150,000. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, look, it's their equipment. They make money on the truck. Everybody, I think we understand that, right? So they should get their truck back. They get to make money with it while you're gone. As tough as it is for people to really grip and understand that the things that happen at your house, any personal things, they really are your problem to solve. They're not the company's problem to solve. Companies solve those problems or help you solve them because it serves them. Because otherwise they can't get their truck. They're going to lose money. They basically have to. And most companies, right, will work with you on stuff like that. Here's Western getting people home immediately because they will. Companies will do that. But you can't just leave the truck somewhere and just not talk about it to anybody. Work with the company. If there's a family emergency and a driver calls, we do everything we can to get them home. Things happen as long as people don't abuse it. Absolutely. I mean, your grandmother can't die 12 times a year, right? Stuff happens and a company works with you, but they don't want to go get their truck either. That costs them money and they don't know what kind of condition the truck is in and everything. Absolutely. There's no way that companies want to do that. Remember the outlaw truck from Steel Cowboy, White Western Star? I don't remember that movie, no. Trucker Hershey's is still at 5 miles an hour, right? That's what most of them, I think, are set at. Al Johns, when you worked for Wiener and had an emergency, they routed me home immediately. Not blaming anyone. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. All you got to do is make a phone call at most places, and they understand how stuff happens. It still is your responsibility, but look, they're going to get you home. You can't just leave the truck somewhere and go home. You cannot do that. Can we talk about personal conveyance? Hi, bye. Absolutely. What do you want to say about personal conveyance? Especially today on ELD Day. Because today is ELD Day. Did your company just switch over today for personal conveyance? By the way, not all companies they don't have to have personal conveyance. I'm not allowed it. Some companies don't allow it. Some companies limit how far you can drive on it. It's up to the company whether they even allow it. I think USA Truck was 75 miles or something, if I remember right. And some don't have a limit on it. So it just depends on what the company wants to do. What do you have to say about personal conveyance? Gracie was waiting to hear from you. Let's see if Bridget can come in here. Oh, Bridget also wants to know about personal conveyance. Can we talk? Okay, so let's see. Okay, I got this. TuSimple. I love this, right? To drive a truck 11 hours a day without even taking a shower every day, getting to stay away from your home. The hours truckers work are a tarnish on the glory of humanity. I love that. I just love that quote. That guy totally gets it. Trucker Hershey, your company just changed to absolutely no PC. Yeah, so you have the same as me, right? Not allowed any personal conveyance time. It's not even on my ELD. They just don't let you use the truck to run errands or do anything else with. They don't want you to do it. How does it work? Can I use it when you're loaded? You can only use it when you're loaded. If you are like at the shipper receiver, you can do it loaded. If they close and you run out of hours, you can PC to the nearest safe legal parking spot for PC if your company allows it. So you'll have to discuss with your company if they even allow you to use PC, because it's really up to them. But in those cases, when you're loaded, you could use it, certainly. You could use it to go to, say, the laundromat from a truck stop. You could PC to the laundromat, or, as they say in the DOT for some reason, the theater, in case you want to catch the latest Frozen movie. I don't know, stuff like that. Communication is the key. As long as there's good communication, the company is willing to work with you. Absolutely. Look, if you're a good driver, you keep a good record, you always talk to the company, and you have a home problem, I cannot imagine a company that wouldn't be like, all right, we'll see what we can do to get you home, or whatever it is. Absolutely. Abandoning the truck, I don't know that driver's side of it, but I cannot imagine abandoning a truck. Drive the truck back to them, and if you're mad at them, you can just quit. And the company would prefer you probably to bring the truck back too. And you don't get to trash the truck. You don't get to sit a carp on top of the heater of the truck and put it on full blast. You don't get to do any of those kind of things, okay? Give them their truck back in good condition and part ways if that's what you want to do. Columbia George checking out. Time to make your delivery in Bend, Oregon. At least you aren't in the snow here. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I've used it at a receiver when you ran out of hours, but no more. Yeah, if they don't allow it, I mean, you should really ask them, and that's a good thing to ask them. All right, what about when I run out of hours at a receiver? What do you want me to do? I'd like to know. You should get that from them up front and see what they want you to do. Cash is King Trucking, you get to go on PC. You should, right? For sure. But I'm not sure how much. I never ran out, or anybody ever said anything to me about overusing it. Your company they may not care. They may not have a limit, especially for somebody in your situation. It should really be up to you, to be honest with you. Tarani Richardson, is he signed off? Am I signed off? I hope not. Am I still on? I may not even be on. All right. I show being on. So, yes, I'm on there. So that's good. Bridget wonders what is going on with that. And am I signed off? Well, let's see what Gracie thinks about that. Gracie is considering whether I'm signed off or not. Absolutely not. We'll say no to that. But in your situation, Cash is King, certainly you can probably PC all you want legally. At this time, we let drivers use a company truck to run PC if needed, but again, as long as drivers don't abuse it. As soon as they start abusing it, you're going to have to limit it, right? Because that costs money, the fuel being burned, not making money. And I totally agree with that. Here, they don't do it because of risk, they said. They just don't want to take the risk of drivers running around, personally. I guess they figured the less time on the road, the less chance of an accident. I know. I don't know, but that's what they've always said here. You can go for personal shopping if you're in a truck stop, use the PC. Yeah, well, max 50 where you are. It depends where what the company says. So you can go shopping, you can go to the mall, you can do whatever you want. Absolutely. Into the QT for a couple rolling wieners and a hot pretzel. Oh yeah, that'd be great. They said we have to plan better. Well, you can't plan when you're sitting there. Tell them they should get you out of there then. I get there with 4 hours on your clock and you're supposed to unload in 2, but they take 4. I agree. I would tell the company immediately, why don't you guys plan better? You guys should plan my loads better and not make me sit here. So I think the solution is say, hey, when I run out of hours, I'm going to be calling somebody, and somebody better answer their phone, or I'm going to be calling you 24 hours a day until I get an answer on this. To make you sit there, what are you supposed to do? Are they going to give you a log violation then? How do you plan for that? Then you're stuck here but not allowed to stay. And so you'd have to take a log violation at your company? That's a real problem. And that's a good question to ask them. Am I going to be violated? Oh, that's good. Are you going to violate me? That's what you should say to them. Is the company going to give you a log violation for that when it isn't your fault, has nothing to do with you? That's how these places do this all the time. Then they put it on the driver, like, how are you supposed to get out of there sooner? George Wilson, thank you for being positive upbeat. Look, I try to be. Sometimes I go to the dark side, but thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. And don't forget, if you wear it, make it a parrot. How about that, of course, as I get ready to head out of here. There's some GP Transco information. Thank you for them for being here today, as always. If you need to talk to GP Transco, there's how we do it. And Jay, of course, at Auto Transport Intel. See him tomorrow at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. How about that? Central Time. There's that. Oh, I want to do that too. Where am I off here? Right. Sierra England train is trying to park next to me. Oh my God, get out of there as soon as you can. GP Transco, do you guys prefer to be routed and fully guided by your dispatcher, or would you rather figure out how to get to the load where you're on your own? We currently truck drivers to do it. Well, personally, me, I would personally, you left me alone on it personally. Just say, here's the pickup, here's the delivery, whatever, and I would rather not be routed. Other than maybe in the Qualcomm have a button, or a message I could send to get the route that you're paying on so I can see the idea. But otherwise, personally for me, I don't want to be routed. So some drivers have told us they like it better when they are guided. That's probably some people, right? And look, if you sent a thing that you didn't have to follow, there's nothing wrong with that either. Send a route, and as long as I don't have to follow it, like I can choose a better route if there's traffic or whatever, that'd be okay with me too, right? Western Flyer Express lease operator, hello. What's going on? Christina, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Kay Wayne, it was good to see you here today. The Earth is not a globe. We know that. All you have to do is look outside, because if it was a globe, the snow would fall in circles as well. Trucker Hershey prefers their own routing. I want to remind people about the St. Christopher Fund. If you can give them even $1, this helps other drivers. This fund is dedicated to helping drivers that have medical emergencies on the road. That could be any of us at any time, and they'll help pay bills. They do stuff for drivers. So I would like to get them $500. I'm at $440. So thank you, everybody, for that. If you do give them money, just shoot me an email and say I gave them $2 or whatever. You don't have to screenshot. A couple people screenshotted that. You don't even have to do that. I'll take your word for it. It's a charity. So don't lie about giving money to a charity. It doesn't help to me. So also remember, Thanksgiving to Christmas. Look, people don't like talking about it, but there's a lot more suicides than any time of the year. Here's the phone number, right? If you need the number, call it. It's anonymous. They'll talk to you 24 hours a day. There's no obligation. Okay, just call that first, please. Before you do anything, just call the number. Mark, are you local or regional? I go home every day. Local driver. Most of our drivers feel the same way at GP Transco. Yeah, I think so. Right? That's just after you've been driving. I just don't need a route, You prefer your own routing, but you get a suggested route. That's a good way to do it. Just log off and drive, no PC. It's almost 2020. Well, you can't do that because then it comes back with the unknown forget exactly what ours says, on were you driving this time or whatever. And so the company gets in trouble, at least from corporate or whatever, about that, and they'll log it to you if it wasn't you, and they know you're the one driving the truck. So it doesn't work that way, at least here. GP Transco, okay, Mark and everyone, have a great day. See you all next Monday for the giveaway. Thank you for that, GP Transco. We'll see you on Monday. I don't mind being routed, but I'm new. If I found it a better route, I should be able to take that too. Yeah, I don't mind them sending a route. I don't like being held to a route. Take whatever route. Have an open fuel card. That's the way to go, especially if there's road construction. Yeah, some people I've seen sitting in traffic, and I'm like, go take 465. And they're like, oh, I can't. I have to go through town. That's the route. I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. You have 2 Sierra England and a Swift truck trying to park. You have to leave immediately. I think at this top point, you just have to abandon your truck and run. Does any company allow pit bulls? I think companies that allow dogs will allow pit bull, but you'd probably have to call. Each place probably works like an apartment complex. You PC from the warehouse to home when you load, and then PC home, then back to the warehouse for next available load. No issues. Okay. Yeah, unassigned driving. Yeah, were you driving from 1 to 1:30 or whatever? And so then they get all these unassigned things. You can't do that. They send messages out about it all the time. We can't have this. You're going to be, they'll just assign it to you basically. So that's how they do it here. Also, don't forget to join OIDA. I'm a member. You should be a member. It's our best shot we got right now. There's nothing. It's not like, well, they're not doing much. Well, there's nothing better at the moment. You can join at the truck show for a discount. If we see their March, I think they give I think it's $25 or whatever to join at the truck show. So that's a way to do it as well. When you come down there to the truck show, you can see me down there and join OIDA. That would be really great when I see everybody. Maybe we could go to the OIDA booth. I wonder what they'd think about that. Probably not a lot. Pit bulls are the company owners. Yeah, thanks, Wild Bill, for that. And thanks for being here today, too. And also Michael Muller for being first on Wednesday. And that was really great. Fleet Nav System, thanks for answering our Geotab and ELD questions. For people that need ELD information, fleetnavsystems.com, the place to go. Get it, right? Get your questions answered there. Al Johns, thanks for being here today. It is time to head out as I have to go play around in the snow for a while today. Michael Cole, thank you for being here. Trucker Hershey, Dragon 51, I appreciate you coming in. Kay Wayne, Christina, thank you for being here. It is good to see you today, as I do most weeks here. And let's see, Michael Martin, thank you for being here. Oh, Steel Horse was on today. I appreciate you coming in. And I go right here. Let's see. Christina was here. Where'd I go? Right there. And Ohio JG12. That's interesting. Right. That was a new Hunsley. I appreciate all that information about that. Mr. Sammy, it's good to see you here. F-150, I'd love it. Right. Luke, thanks for coming in today. I'm sorry I can't get to everybody. There's hundreds of people on. As always, Furious Badger, the name I love. AZ was here. Roger Penske was here. Also, we didn't get the president wasn't on today. Disappointing. I didn't get to see the president, George Wilson. And so I have to go make my company some money. But everybody be safe in the weather, all right? Please be safe out there. Don't do anything crazy. If it's too bad, just park. Tell them to get lost and park, because safety is the number one priority. Believe me, if you got in an accident, they'll fire you. So please be safe out there. And we'll see you on next Monday and, of course, through the week. So be safe, and I'll see you on Monday.